Ladies and gentlemen, hope you guys are having a wonderful morning. We have already gone over the news. We are about to go over some plays, and the Twitch is down today. We're having some technical difficulties if you guys are missing that, but clearly the news is way better than expected. China deal. We talked about this last night. We were waiting all sorts of announcement, but this morning Scott Besson announced that, and China did too, that they have agreed to a 90-day reduction in tariffs, bringing the rates down to 30 and 10. We are charging China 30. They're charging us 10 in the meantime, but this is a huge recalibration. I do think we are still in chop zone, and then we got to get to the other levels and all of that. But when it is all said and done, bro, we have a very big day on our hands. We have Jerome Powell and the CPI this week as well, but everybody is already reacting to that, and this is a big deal. Again, we came in thinking nothing would come out of this meeting, but you actually came out with one of the best outcomes you could think of. So we'll see where it all plays out. You're going to hear from Donald Trump very shortly. He might even be live now, but he is going to be talking about the Pharma tariff. So that was the bad part about today. Other than that, shout out to the long term, baby. And that being said, we got 3 minutes. How y'all feeling, bro? Are you ready? I got a couple of plays. So I hope my advice for the weekend helped you, Boeing or K-Web. If you did any of that, China, Boeing made your life easy. I think you were clearly in the zone. Those Pinduoduos, we already have those. We talked about that on the watch list. And again, related to the de-minimis rule, that's part of the trade stuff, and even Amazon got the benefit. So watch out for that. Other than that, I'm going to be watching Apple, Boeing, K-Web, the easy ones, Pinduoduo, A-Lab. They got a nice little upgrade here, started moving. Shopify, again, they're related to trade, and they got added to the NASDAQ 100. Gold to the downside because of all of the risk on. And then watch biotechs, Labu, IBB, all that good stuff. So other than that, we are, again, I think our Pinduoduos are like $5 in the money. Our Apples and other plays, we got K-Web, so you know, we had a bunch of free ones, and we'll be good to go. Other than that, baby, long term, and I hope you're ready to follow. And shout out to Vets, bro. I can't believe it, man. We did it. I told you guys at the beginning of the year, I'm like, man, if people are listening, I'm going to be annoying. And it worked, bro. So God is good, bro. Finger to the sky. Veterans, we have way more work to do. I think it was a nice little gesture, 10% of the homeless veterans, you know, but yeah, amen. And I hope all of you take that as a sign, you know, stand for something good, speak up when it's something good, and if it's for others, and you, bro, you can have an impact, Chad. So let's go, baby. But we got a minute and a half. I've already told you my plays. The long term is going to love today. We'll take a couple of profits at the bell, and then we'll ride a couple, and then we'll see what we get after that. And then, yeah, you're going to hear from Trump, and then we have the Saudis and all that too. So other than that, 1 minute and 30. I don't know if I got time to go to the potty. No potty breaks. No potty break. Did you guys watch my vlog? Did that count as a vlog? I made you a video. Y'all made fun of my hamburger meat. Is that what it's called? Is this called hamburger meat?
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
I spoke all quiet.
Weekend. I'm chilling, man. I got my sunlight.
Go. Get them.
I'm here waiting.
How do I get to the?
So
take them.
I'm here to talk.
Get to the 19th. We need to talk about the 70. All right, I'll be right back.
It's good. Here's the deal.
I was in
money
public,
supply.
bro.
We got rich off of inflation in 2020, and a lot of you did. Some of you didn't. Some of you took advantage of it. Some of you got confused by it. I even got confused by it at one point. It's not going to be easy, and even I'm sure when this next moment arrives, it's not going to be easy as well. But the point I was saying is that if there is a large change in money supply and government demand, depending on where that money goes, it's going to fuel a lot of things, and you need to know how to take advantage of it. And I hear people talking about all of the trade policy and this and that, and it's just like stagflation. We hear this deflation, stagflation. I'm more scared about deflation. You hear people talk about stagflation, but like, what do you do? And everybody wants to blame somebody, but it's like, no, what should you be doing? How should you be investing? And
don't forget that chart,
kind
bro.
of what we've been preparing for. You know, we've talked about 1970 to 1980, if you guys remember me bringing this up.
No, this is new, Josh. I was just quiet. I was in public. You should watch that video, though. Again, you guys got to be ready for any strategy or any event where you make money, even if the market doesn't go crazy. Because, again, that's what our long term does. But get ready. Round 1. Fight. Alrighty, well, everything is starting off. Let's see what we have up. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so those Pinduoduos, that's a fat bag. Oh, my goodness. So I'm going to sell a couple of those. I don't know what they're going to give me, but hey, I'm down. Pending. Come on, sell them. And then you have apples. So remember, I got burned on every apple last week. And then now the 2 that remained, those are all up as well too. So do whatever you need to on that. The apples have a way tighter spread. I'm going to sell. All right, bro. That's it. That apple paid for a lot. Again, the Pinduoduo, I don't know if it... Okay, I filled those too. No, those are 500%. I got a big bag on the Pinduoduo. So that's it. I took profit. I'm going to ride out the less, but those 2 should even pay for some of the losses last week. Oh, yeah, free NVIDIAs too. I forgot about that. All right, so I got one of each, though. I sold like 90% of them. Of the Apple and Pinduoduo. Those are great. Next one we got, I don't know if these will fill. What date is that? Yeah, the Pinduoduos, I'm still watching. All right, Estee Lauder. Watch any of the China ones and then go after what's it called? Biotechs. That one's going to be a big one, but then they're already kind of front running because they already went down and then the candle actually shows green, which I think is weird. Okay, the NVIDIAs, I don't know if I want to hold those or not. So remember those free ones from last week? We hit it on the news. Oh, shit. Those might go in the money. We have till this week. I'm going to hold them. We already made them free and held for this long. And then again, Apple, old Intels too. I forgot about. I'm going to dump those since I'm going to hold the NVIDIA. You guys remember there was out the money free Intels. Make those free. Those are up 200%. Give me money. Oh, the first stream alert didn't go out. Yeah, the KRE. A lot of plays. Again, this is one of those things where just even a month or 2 ago, remember we had a bunch of calls and then you had a random news pop. So if things were dead coming out, just pay yourself. This is where you are going to get your money back. I hope you guys realize that. Which one did I? So I sold. Sura, welcome. Oh, dude, I missed a bunch. Oh, my goodness. Shout out to Vets, baby. Oh, and Ignace is back. Well, God bless y'all, baby. Let me take some more profits, and I will be with you guys in a sec. Yeah, so Bros, too. We have that one. Those are up 200%. I'm going to sell those. I'm cashing out, bro. I'm just taking my money and then riding a couple. So Bros, that's 200%. But now, anything that didn't hit last week, these profits are going to pay for it. All right. And then the Pinduoduo, let's go. Palantir, yeah, MO. Some of them I'm fully taking, some of them I'm making free. So if you're waiting to for me, that's a bad strategy, but the main theme is take profits. Pizza. Bro, you know who loves pizza? My girlfriend. Dude, she literally would make me say it during the weekend. Randomly, she'd be like, "Can you say it again?" I'm like, "What?" She said, "Pizza." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "You're so good at it." And so she made me pizza. I was doing that all weekend. So it's a good week. It's a good pizza. Labu, again, the video, you still got those. I like the Pinduoduos. They're down by $1 though now. And then NVIDIA got free Apple. I have some other. Oh, the JD. Dude, tell me why the JDs didn't move. The JDs are break even. No, what am I saying? And then the old TTDs, I forgot about those. The average on TTD, those went up. I like that play, but yeah, we'll hold that. TTD. We had an average. That one's still going up. I'm trying to see. Nike is part of the U.S. trades. U.S. China. Watch Nike, Estee Lauder, all of them. Yeah, UPS and shipping would be a good. Again, this is, you guys realize we're up 3.5 right now. I'm just using this opportunity to take profit, but no, this was a better than expected move. And now all these plays related to China, uncertainty, Vietnam, every single one of those is going to be good. Who was last? Somebody was. Oh, dude, those Medtronics went up too. Okay, I forgot. I'm going to get rid of those. Medtronic 55. Whirlpool, RH, yeah, RH, and then Shopify. Oh, dude, there was somebody I was looking at who was just lagging. Oh, that's who it is. Yeah, I got to play for you guys. RH, Whirlpool, Starbucks. Bro, Starbucks was packed everywhere I would go this weekend. And then BMY, they're going up there. So value, again, you have tech, everybody else, but it's going up. Is that the same one? SRPT on the high, and then Biogen or biotechs are all going up. I'm actually very surprised by this. Do you guys not realize this? You had a fat sell-off in biotechs, and now they're all going up. Yeah. So that could have been the sell the news and then reposition. I think that was very fascinating. But yeah, Pfizer, XLV, IBB, all of them are moving. Why does my SPY look so janky? Yeah, they're all moving. Then you got Dell on the high. Am I tripping? Oh, that's a different timeline. Very interesting. XHB, Labu. Yeah, watch Boeing again. There's still going to be more China stuff, and then whatever we get from your boy Donald, that's going to be, yeah, it's already live. It's going to be related to the healthcare, drugs, all that stuff. Eli Lilly, KMB, UNH on the high. I forgot about Tesla. KDLY. Pinduoduo is, oh wait, that's a different one. I was like, that's not even, yeah, we're still in the money on those, but all the China plays are starting to slowly fade. I think we're going to get round 2 on those eventually. Pizza is killing it, bro. We're above 40. That's what we needed. Banks on the high too. So watch out for that one. Would I consider rolling over? All up to you, man. If you guys already have plays that are green, it is on you to decide whether or not you want to push or get greedy or take profits. And, you know, there's been days where I do sell early a lot in volatility, and you get mad, but I have not regretted taking profit. But it's up to you. It's what you're feeling. And again, if you do sell early, you might get FOMO and other plays and vice versa. But this was a move. We're getting first part of it. It was a surpriser. It's bringing things back. You got to just take advantage of that how you see fit, and then there's going to be more follow-up moves this week. But I would make your decision and be comfortable living with it, because that is going to be the thing that'll prevent the future FOMO. Yeah, gold is down on just everybody. Again, people feel much more confident. I hope you guys see that. You know, everybody who was like, oh my God, remember, I was worried about the embargo and things not moving, and now this whole trade pause, this gets the boats moving, the rates are lower, this, you know, we thought it was just going to be talks, And we didn't even really think anything would really come out of it, but now that's it. Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi met with foreign ministers from Caribbean and diplomatic relations, met with Colombian foreign minister in Beijing. Okay, Boeing's coming down. Again, a lot of China plays been selling off, so hopefully you took some profit, but we're kind of getting the little fade here to start. Pizza. My long-term won't load. It's not Fidelity. Can you guys log into your Fidelity? I can't. UAE and Intel. Whispers of Trump pushing it. I think Trump wants U.S. investment in Intel, but I don't know if the Saudis would. But I think that'd be good news, and I do think I think people have talked a lot less about what we might actually hear from the Saudis. I think that is an event. Bro, Thermo Fisher, are you kidding me? Bro, yeah, these these biotech healthcare plays are going nuts. Okay, there it is. My Fidelity logged in. We're like right off all-time highs. Not bad. Yeah, Whirlpool came up a ton. Damn it. Man, maybe we should have bought it last week, bro. Because, yeah, we were down like 20% on it. Now we're only down like 9. Paying the plug for the Nike play, baby. Ooh. There's a lot out there, man. So, good GG. Again, pay yourself, and we're going to have another follow-up. And above all else, the real winner is the long term. I hope you guys realize that. I think that is something. Those NVIDIA free ones are coming back. The TTDs came back. So, again, anything I didn't take profit on already came back down. Okay, SPY going a little lower. You got Target on the high. They got downgraded, but still moving up. Saitama. Alrighty. Can you explain having the long term? I can't. It's very easy. You've been here for a long time too. So if you choose to sell when things go up, that's you. You know, you got to figure it out. But we have a 10-year minimum plan here. So it's the same thing that I've been going over for half a decade. So that's why I get it. The sooner you learn this, right from the moment you hear about the stock market, you guys want to make sure you buy and own part of it for a long, and don't sell no matter what. But yeah, that is kind of been there. Check out the watch list. I did give a little update there for people on there if you want to see the portfolio and have an idea of it. Trump speaking live now. I have the White House one. It hasn't started yet. Tell me when he gets on there. Wang Yi met with Nicaragua. Okay, SPY near the low. I got a couple of ideas, but so far all I did was take profit. Tesla came back down. There's Apple, NVIDIA. What's YHC? Is that the trucking company? NVO short term? I do. I think NVO, this is why we bought it. And, well, not why, but this is how we got it at such a good deal, is that they are going through a lot. Both with the growth of their drug and now this executive order. And Trump, they even said they are going to go after GLP-1s. China agreed to large tariff cuts. Closing on a condo this week. Skirp! Let's go. Blackstone said to be in talks to buy New Mexico utility owner TXNM. Yo, is this? Yeah, TXNM. This is real. What the fuck? I didn't think it would have a thing. Could still be delayed or falter sources. Is this already? It already kind of looks like buyout mode. Yeah, be careful. This one's already in like buyout mode. That's why it's kind of odd. But yeah, that's coming out. Pfizer, Eli Lilly, Merck. Bro, all of the biotechs are up right now. That's hilarious. So again, these names, like NVO's still down, but Some of them are really, really running. So literally, they all got clapped. Everything again. Russell's up by 3.9, the best on the day. Nasdaq 3.4, SPY 2.5, and then Dow Jones by 2.5 as well. They bringing out charts. How come I don't see it? Am I tripping? My thing's not live yet. Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah, they are getting all the charts. If you have a long term, you're smiling. Oh, dude, I'm telling you. Long term is great, but this is why I do want you guys following along and just stop playing games. The strategy is very easy. Don't make it any more difficult. But, dude, we have a portfolio doing better than the rest of the world right now. Yeah, you should be. You're literally right off of all-time highs right now, and you got good opportunities. So we have a lot more to go through, but in an event where there's been so much uncertainty, to have your maximum amount of positioning coming into even the good news, I mean, shit. Finger to the sky. Oh, wait, yeah, Twitch, I'm going to try to get the Twitch on later, but it's literally, we had a lot of issues with it this morning, but nothing permanent. You guys just got technical difficulties today. Okay. A golden dome chart during the presser. Golden dome for America. Interesting. I'm seeing, that's the only feed. I don't have any other one. PCH on the high. That Phil? All right. Which is the other one? Yeah, dude. Estee Lauder. I'm mad because we were talking about all of these on Friday. We were talking about all the U.S.-China plays, and we saw how they moved. Okay, Apple's coming down and Google, even though SPY's here at the low. Yeah, bro. Watch. So I don't know. There's something on the screen, you guys. Yeah, they took it away. I made a play based on what was on the screen. They showed something on the screen with one of those images, and I made a play off of it. Yeah. So not a recommendation, but I don't know. That might actually go. So be careful though. Don't pay more than 2 cents on that play. Yeah, they already jacked it up to 20. So be very, very careful. What was it? I said it out loud. You had to pay attention. But they put something on screen, and I don't know if it was supposed to be live, but I made a play on it. I put $100. 150? Yeah, $100. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, he's coming out now.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you,
It's a big day. Should be fun. I don't know. You'll maybe find reasons why it's not, but I can't imagine because we have a lot of great things happening. It's been a very strong week and a very strong weekend. Before we begin, let me say a few words about the historic events that took place over the last few days. On Saturday, my administration helped broker a full
Immediate
ceasefire, I think a permanent one, between India and Pakistan, ending a dangerous conflict of two nations with lots of nuclear weapons.
Got a jet now, baby.
And they were going at it hot and heavy, and it was seemingly not going to stop. And I'm very proud to let you know that the leadership of India and Pakistan was unwavering, powerful, but unwavering in both cases, and having these. They really were, from the standpoint of having the strength and the wisdom and fortitude to fully know and to understand the gravity of the situation. And we helped a lot. And we helped also with trade. I said, come on, we're going to do a lot of trade with you guys.
Well, come on.
Let's stop it. Let's stop it. If you stop it, we're doing trade. If you don't stop it, we're not going to do any trade. People have never really used trade the way I used it. That I can tell you. And all of a sudden they said, I think we're going to stop. And they have. And they did it for a lot of reasons, but trade is a big one. We're going to do a lot of trade with Pakistan. We're going to do a lot of trade with India. We're negotiating with India right now. We're going to be soon negotiating with Pakistan. And we stopped the nuclear conflict. I think it could have been a bad nuclear war. Millions of people could have been killed. So I'm very proud of that. I also want to thank Vice President Vance and Secretary of State Rubio for their work and efforts. They worked very hard on that. We also, as you know,
the NIVDAs are coming back
a
up.
Situation where the Houthis, for the first time ever, have ceased firing, and they've let it be known that they're not going to be firing at American ships anymore. Not going to be firing at Americans anymore. This was a heavy barrage that lasted for approximately 50 days. And as you know, they've been in war essentially for forever. But over the last 10 years, they've been very difficult for other countries. Nobody was able to do what we did. But they stopped, and we take their word for it. Their surrogates and them directly said, we don't want to do this anymore. And so we were satisfied with that.
So we were satisfied.
In addition, yesterday we achieved a total reset with China.
That's the good news.
After productive talks in Geneva, both sides now agreed to reduce the tariffs imposed
Bitcoin going
April
up
2nd to 10% for 90 days as negotiators continue on the larger structural issues. And I want to tell you that a couple of things. First of all, that doesn't include the tariffs that are already on, that are our tariffs, and it doesn't include tariffs on cars, steel, aluminum, things such as that, or tariffs that may be imposed on pharmaceuticals, because we want to bring the pharmaceutical businesses back to the United States, and they're already starting to come back now based on tariffs. Because they don't want to pay 25,
on the
50,
high
or
and
100% tariffs, so they're moving them back to the United States. I spoke to Tim Cook this morning, and he's going to, I think, even up his numbers, $500 billion. He's going to be building a lot of plants in the United States for Apple.
Spicer's going on hearing Trump talk about it.
To that.
He hasn't hit you with the stick yet on the bad news.
The talks in Geneva were very friendly. The relationship is very good. We're not looking to hurt China. China was being hurt very badly. They were closing up factories. They were having a lot of unrest. And they were very happy to be able to do something with us. And the relationship is very, very good. I'll speak to President Xi maybe at the end of the week.
Oh, wow.
We have some other things.
Oh, there you go. So Trump will talk to Xi at end of the week.
I don't know,
throw that on the calendar.
Realize this, but we made a great deal with China, great trade deal. But
see what the market takes it. But now you have something to look forward to on that front.
Right in the last day
Something
some of
about
you
joint
faces I
statement from
remember were there
Ukraine,
when it
Germany,
happened. I
France, Italy,
remember you.
Poland, Spain, United Kingdom.
And we had a deal where they opened up their country to trade with the United States. And they took that away at the last moment, and then I canceled the whole thing. And then 6 months later, we ended up doing a smaller deal, but it was a big deal. It was $50 billion worth of product that they were going to purchase from our farmers, et cetera. And we agreed to that. People
Okay,
thought it
SPY
was
going
15
down.
because they were doing 15. We made it 50 because I misunderstood the 15. I thought I said, you got to get 50. Because when I asked, if you remember the story, when I asked what
Wait,
are we
what?
doing with them, my Secretary of Agriculture at the time, Sonny Perdue, said, sir, it's about 15 billion and we're asking for 15. And I thought he said 50. So I said, so they came back with a deal at 15. And I said, no way, I want 50 because you said 50. They said, sir, we didn't say that. Anyway, bottom line, I said, go back and ask for 50. And they gave us 50. And they were honoring the deal. And we would call them up a lot for the corn and for the wheat and for everything. They were honoring the deal. And then when Biden got in,
He's talking about the last one.
they no longer honored the deal. There was nobody to call. I would call on an average of once every 2 weeks to say, come on, you have to speed it up a little bit. And our farmers were doing great. I said to them, buy more land and bigger tractors, if you remember. That's what happened. But the deal was a very good deal. But the best part of the deal was that we opened up China. China agreed to open itself up to American business to go in. And it would have been a great thing, I think, for China. They would be able to see things that they
Damn,
haven't
equal
seen.
weight's
They
up
would be able to
2.5?
buy products that they have never
It's matched up with that
been able to
SPX.
buy. Would have been great for American business.
I mean,
think
you
it would
have big
brought
room to
unity
gap
between
fill, but
China,
remember,
better unity
58.45
between
is the
China
level.
and
So
the
we're
United
right there.
States.
Value and
And,
Kimberly
the
Clark,
bottom line
Staples,
is that,
Procter
they
Gamble all
canceled
going
it
up.
the last day. We were all set to sign it, and then I went a little bit angry. I got a little angry. They said they canceled the deal. The deal was done. It was all ready to be signed, and people went over.
Net
They
is
came
on the
back
high,
to me,
too.
"Sir, they don't want to sign the opening up China." Well, the biggest thing that we're discussing is the opening up China, and they've agreed to do that. But it's going to take a while to paper it. That's not the easiest thing to paper. But that's the single, I think, to me, some people would disagree. Some people would say we're getting a lot of money with tariffs or whatever. But, especially when you add what we already have. Because remember, we're already getting the 50% on steel and different things. That's not included in these numbers. So you can add that. But the biggest thing to me is the opening up. I think it would be fantastic for our businesses if we could go in and compete with China. It would be a lot of jobs for China. It would be, I think, at a time when they can frankly use the jobs. And that's what we're talking about. So that's a very, very important element to add. So when Scott, I watched him speak the other day, and I think he didn't want to say it, but I said, it's okay to say it. Look, if we don't get it, we don't get it. But if we don't get it, it won't be a positive thing. But if we do get it, I think it's maybe the most important thing to happen. Because if you think about it, we opened up our country to China. They have very few restrictions. And they didn't open their country to us. Never made sense to me. It's not fair. And they've agreed to open China, fully open China. I think it's going to be fantastic for China. I think it's going to be fantastic for us. And I think it's going to be great for unification and peace. China will also suspend and remove all of its non-monetary barriers. They've agreed to do that. Well, they're very numerous. But again, to me, the biggest thing that came out of that meeting is they've agreed. Now we have to get it papered, but they've agreed to open up China. It's going to be great for everybody. And third, I'm very happy to announce that
Wait till it goes in on the Pharma.
Idan Alexander, an American citizen who,
barriers,
until recently,
stuff,
most
that,
thought was no longer living, thought was dead, is going to be released in about 2 hours.
Okay, bonds are getting a
actually.
little bit more bid.
And
I think the
he's
only
going
thing
to
that could
be,
come out of this is people saying, well, wait, the deal's not
released
on paper, so can the deal still
Before
blow
the
up?
eyes of Steve Witkoff, who has done a fantastic
Other
job.
than that, you're at the low of the day, still up about 2.5, 3.5 on the
I know a lot
NASDAQ.
of talent. I know Steve had a lot of talent. But I know a lot of people with a lot of talent. But there's one that I thought had a special way about him, special personality. Aside from being a good deal maker, had a special way about him, and it was Steve. Knew very little about the subject matter. Who does? But he learned it in about 2 hours.
Who does?
And he's been fantastic. So I want to just thank Steve. But they're going to be releasing Edon in about 2 hours from now, or sometime today, let's say. And again, they thought he was dead just a short while ago. His parents are so happy. They're so happy. So it's, as you know, Edon's the only American citizen who's captured and held hostage by Hamas since October 7th, 2023. And he's coming home to his parents, which is really great news. I mean, to me, it's big news. They thought he was dead. So
It is big news,
so
Mr. Trump.
we'll be heading
At
there,
least to me, I
and
thought that
we'll
was
be,
big.
seeing 3 primary countries. You know all about that: Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar. On Thursday's meeting with Russia and Ukraine is very important. I was very insisted that
Is
meeting
Apple
take place.
running?
I think good things can come out
Yeah,
of that
Apple
meeting.
keeps melting up.
Stop the bloodshed of the
I got a couple of random chip names and crypto
bloodbath.
on the high, and then a firm.
but
SPY's just near the bottom.
5,000
Bond's catching a
more.
bid,
It's
still
really
down.
Much more trying to be conservative. More than
WRD, we
5,000
saw them on
soldiers.
Friday.
Russian. They're not
That
American
CoreWeave.
soldiers. They're from Russia. They're from Ukraine, but they're people. They're human souls, and they're being killed at levels that we haven't seen since the Second World War. And it's every week. A lot of drone fighting. It's a whole new form of warfare, and it's violent and vicious. And so that's it. I'd like to go back to China just for a second. They're very heavy on the fentanyl. We're charging them, as you know, 20% for the fact that they send fentanyl into our country. And they've agreed that they're going to stop that. And, you know, they'll be rewarded by not having to pay, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. So the fentanyl should stop. It comes from China. It's amazing. And comes through our southern border, comes through our northern border too, comes through Canada, and comes through our southern border, much more through the southern border. But so that's a very important subject to me, because everybody in this room has lost friends or people that have family members that have died of fentanyl. So there's a big incentive for China to stop, and I take them at their word. They're going to work on that, I think, very hard. And one thing, when they work on something, they get it done. So now I'm about to depart on a historic visit. Some of you are going with us to, as I said, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and United Arab Emirates. Before I do, I'll sign one of the most consequential executive orders in our country's history. I don't think there's ever been anything signed like this, certainly not with respect to health care, nothing even close. I'm delighted to be joined on this occasion by Secretary of Health and Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy, Jr., who is doing a really good job, I have to tell you that. CMS Administrator, a friend of mine, Dr. Mehmet Oz, who is an amazing guy. You know, I was telling Bobby before, Oz had a very successful show, but it hurt his reputation. Because when you're in show business, it hurts your reputation a little bit. It's good for you. It's good for you, but in terms of professionalism and being a doctor, it sort of hurts your reputation.
Yeah,
This
We
guy
Ride.
went to
That
the
was the
best
one with
schools,
Uber
was the
last
best,
week.
I mean, top of the line. Then he did a television show, became a success, made a lot of money, all that stuff, but it sort of hurt him. And you know who I compare that to? I hate to say this, but a special woman, Janine Pirro. She was the toughest, smartest DA, maybe in our countries, in our cities and states, history, New York. She was really tough, really tough. Then she did a show,
Oh,
and people didn't
ladies
think of
and
her quite the
gentlemen.
same way. She became more of an
Wow.
entertainment person.
Horna.
Like us. Oz is not an
Bradley
entertainment
Frizzle in the peach, baby. Are you kidding me?
And she isn't either.
Wake up.
She is
Happy Monday. Go
unbelievable.
look at
She was
Boeing now.
one
That's
of
it.
the
The
strongest
spy's ready.
district attorneys
There's
in
the
history of
peaches
New York.
here. Oh, man.
Highly respected.
Oh,
very
man.
tough.
That's a trade deal
One
right there. The
after-
peach.
The drug dealers at a level that
Look
you
at
don't see
Boeing.
today anymore, and hopefully she's given
God
up a
bless you, Bradley
tremendous.
Frizzle. I'm going to
She's
look at
leaving the
Boeing's
number
now.
one show on cable television, one of the number one shows on television, period. the five, but they've got great people left behind. But she was a big part of it.
0 tariffs on peaches.
And so I equated to that. Janine Pirro is unbelievable. FDA Commissioner Dr. Marty McCary, with a reputation that's second to none, and the job he's doing already has been fantastic. Thank you, Marty. And Director of National Institute of Health, Jay Bhattacharya, who has been, as you know, from Stanford, so highly regarded, and have all been working with us very hard on this. And the question they would ask, being a little bit new to the government aspect.
Yeah,
of it,
Apple's
is,
been
why
leading up
hasn't-
like little by little.
why
The
doesn't
premiums
somebody
are still
fight the
holding.
drug price situation, meaning equalization. There's a term. It's called equalization. Nobody wants to mention that term. And I'm not knocking the drug companies. I'm really more knocking the countries than the drug companies, because they're
That's good.
forced to do things. But the drug lobby is the strongest lobby in this country. They say the drug lobby.
Okay, SPY's still
It's
holding.
between
Again, you
that and
haven't
lawyers.
moved more than
And,
1 point, 2 points from
they
the
have a lot
open.
of power.
Again,
But starting today, the United
15
States
points
will no longer
from overnight.
subsidize the health care of foreign countries, which is what we were doing. We're subsidizing others' health care. Countries where they paid a small fraction of what, for the same drug,
you're welcome,
at
Nicholas.
what we pay many, many times more for. And we'll no longer tolerate profiteering and price gouging from Big Pharma. But again, it was really the countries that forced Big Pharma to do things that, frankly, I'm not sure they really felt comfortable doing. But they've gotten away with it. These
So what you
countries,
say,
the European
blaming
Union,
the countries,
has been
not the
brutal,
companies.
brutal. And the drug companies actually told me stories. It was just brutal how they forced them. And European Union suing all our companies, Apple, Google, Meta. They're suing all of our companies. They end up, they have judges
I
that
use
are
E-Trade, Fidelity, and Schwab.
European Union centric, and they get rewarded 15 billion, 17 billion, 20 billion, and they use that to run their operation. Not going to happen any longer, that I can tell you. So what's been happening is we've been subsidizing other countries throughout the world, not just in Europe, throughout the world. European Union was the most difficult for
Favorite?
what I
Not
understand.
really. They all just do their
I
own
mean, I'll tell
thing.
you a story. A friend of mine is
Anything but Weeble,
a
baby.
businessman, very, very, very
Ooh,
top guy.
why?
Most of you would have heard of him. A highly neurotic, brilliant businessman, seriously overweight, and he takes the fat shot drug. And he called me up, and he said,
Seriously over. It takes the fat shot.
President. He calls me. He used to call me Donald. Now he calls me President. So that's nice respect. But he's a rough guy, smart guy.
Takes the
Very
fat shot.
successful, very rich. I wouldn't even know how we would know this, but because he's got comments. President, could I ask you a question? What? I'm in London, and I just paid for this damn fat drug I take. I said, it's not working. He said,
Said it's
I just
not
paid
working.
$88. And in New York, I pay $1,300. What the hell is going on? He said, so I checked.
That's,
and
he's
it's
talking
the same box,
NVO and Eli Lilly
made in
right
the
now.
same plant by the same company. It's the identical pill that I buy in New York. And here
That
I'm
doesn't
paying
make sense. There's not a
$88
fat
in
shot,
London.
though. Pill.
In
Sorry,
New York,
sir.
I'm paying $1,300.
This might be a
Now,
made-up
this is a great
story.
businessman, so, but he's not
grilling a
familiar
fat
with
dude.
This crazy situation that we have. But he was stunned. But it was just one of those stories. And I brought it up with the drug companies, represented by somebody who's very, very smart. Good person, too.
Oh, happy birthday,
And we
baby.
argued
No,
about it for
wow.
about half hour, and then finally he just said,
Enjoy the
'cause
flight.
They can't justify it.
No, and welcome, Lucas.
He just said, look, you got me. You got me.
There's
I
no
can
fat
longer
pill, but he said pill. I don't know if he's
they've been
confused.
justifying this crap
This is
for
hilarious,
years. They said,
though.
oh, it's research and development. Well, I said, well, research and development, other countries should pay research and development too. It's for their benefit. It was just one of those things. And the other countries would set a price, and they'd meet the price, and they'd say, if you don't meet the price, you can't sell it in our country. I said, well, then you walk away, and, they'll come
Again,
you
this is
back
the
and
bad
they'll sell
part
it in
about
country.
the
But now they'll
last
have to
day.
do that.
Or
So
overnight.
for the first time in many years, we'll slash the cost of prescription drugs, and we will bring fairness
Again,
to America.
people in
Drug
pharma, this
prices
is
will
bad.
come down
Pretty much going to
by
lower a lot
much
of the
more,
margins
really, if you
from.
think, 59. If you,
That's why I was
if you think
surprised
of
they're all
a
green.
drug that is
Couple I read,
sometimes
NVO and
10
Eli Lilly.
times more expensive. It's much more than the 59%, it depends
Why
on
is
the way you
Dollar
wanna
General
analyze
getting
it,
worked?
But in one way you could analyze it that way. But between 59 and 80, and I guess even 90%. So when I worked so hard in the first term, and if I got prices down, remember I was the only one to ever get prices down for a full year.
Yo,
But I get
pizza
them down
on the
like 2%,
high,
and
bro.
I thought it was like a big deal. Well, we're
$41
getting
pizza,
them down
pizza.
60, 70, 80, 90%. But actually more than that if you think about it in the way mathematically. And Pharma has to say, we're sorry, but we'll not be able to do this any longer to these countries that have been so tough. They've been very tough, nasty.
Yeah, we ride still
It's
up
trade.
there.
It's trade.
TLT's moving.
And
TLT might
Pharma
go
is also
green.
very powerful.
Kind of wild.
And the Democrats
And now you
have
got
protected
Guild going
Pharma.
up.
The Democrats, this is the Democrats have protected Pharma. These are the Democrats. And by the way, I just called.
They all dropped and then
Speaker of
went
the
back
House.
up. I think people realized.
just called
I think Trump's going to be
the
targeting
leader,
countries more than
leader in the Senate,
biotech
John Thune,
companies.
Mike Johnson.
But it does have this
Spoke
this
to
does
both
have a
of
big
them.
effect
I said, when
on
you
these
score,
companies.
You're going to have to score two things. You're going to have to, number one, score that
Yes, pizza is Little
hundreds of
Caesars.
billions of
But
dollars of tariff
I
money
like
is
saying
coming
it
in.
still.
But even bigger than that, you're going to have to score that your cost for Medicaid and Medicare and just basically pharmaceuticals and drugs is going down at a level that nobody has ever seen before. It'll pay for the Golden Dome. I see the Golden Dome in
Yeah.
Tennessee. That'll easily pay for the Golden Dome.
That's why. Okay,
have
so
a
that
lot of
was the
money
one I
left
played.
over.
RTX.
We need the Golden Dome, by the way.
Dude, I saw the
in this
picture
world.
when they were
Well,
setting
this
it up.
world's
They had a
lot safer
picture of the
today than
Golden
it was a
Dome.
week ago.
Yeah, those plays
A lot
already went
safer than
up
it
too,
was
so
6 months ago.
make them free,
We had
hopefully.
people that had no clue what they were doing. So today, Americans spend 70% more for prescription drugs than we spent in the year 2000. Think of that. Our country has the highest drug prices anywhere in the world by sometimes a factor of 5, 6, 7, 8 times. It's not like they're slightly higher. They're 6, 7, 8 times. There are even cases of 10 times higher. So that you go 10 times more expensive for the same drug, that's big numbers. Even though the United States is home to only 4% of the world's population, pharmaceutical companies make more than 2/3 of their
Are you
profits
allowed to
in
call out
America. So
something
think of
free?
that.
No.
With 4% of the
The
population.
rule is I have the
the
monopoly on
pharmaceutical
plays now.
companies make most of
So
their
you will
money,
get banned.
most of their profits.
That's it. Just
America.
assume
That's
everybody
not a
is
good thing.
pumping. Assume that's why they
Now,
said
I
it.
think, by the way,
And
pharmaceuticals.
if you make money, you could pay the plug. Other than that, just make money and let it benefit your life. You don't have to tell anyone.
History for their company, convincing people for many years that this was a fair
The
system.
FOMO is 40 levels above here.
Nobody really understood why.
So, like, remember, I was
I
giving you
figured it
guys that
out.
range, but like
For years,
58,
pharmaceutical
45,
and
I
drug
told you
companies
that
have
is
said that
the
research and development costs
that is
were
the FOMO level.
what they are.
So we're actually right
For no
there, but we
reason
haven't
whatsoever.
technically broken
They
out
had
of
to be
it.
borne by America alone. Not anymore, they don't. This means American patients were effectively subsidizing socialist healthcare systems in Germany,
Okay, bonds are going up.
in all parts of the European Union. They were the toughest of all. They were nasty. And I see that. I see that with trade, too. European Union is in many ways nastier than China. Okay? And we've just started with them. Oh, they'll come down a lot. You watch. We have all the cards. They treated us very unfairly. They sell us 13 million cars. We sell them none. They sell us their
Now he's going in on EU.
agricultural products. We
All
sell
right,
them
so
for
this is
virtually
round,
none.
dude. He's going in on EU.
They don't take our
EU is
product.
nastier than China. They will
gives
come
us all
down
the
a lot. So
cards.
think about it, because now if
And
you
very
get the
unfair.
China
So
deal
they're
out the
gonna have to
way,
pay more for healthcare,
and then you
we're
don't
gonna
have to
pay
worry
less
about
for some of
China,
these.
and now he has them on
Believe it or
board.
not, because
Now
it's
he's
really
going to
the
go.
world we're
That's it.
talking
The
about,
last
not
one is
just
the
European
EU.
Union.
EU will have
But
to pay
because
more
it's
for
the world, The
healthcare.
numbers are
No, it's kind of smart. I like it.
the numbers are.
So
for the
now
healthcare
watch what
company,
happens
not
to
as
the
bad as
euro
you
and all
think.
of that.
They'll make
But
the
yeah,
same. I
he's
think the healthcare
literally.
companies should make.
Because then if you have China done,
much the
like I
same
told
money.
you, China,
I don't
Mexico.
believe they're gonna- they
First
should
it was
be
Mexico,
affected
Canada.
very much because,
And then if you get China,
it's just a redistribution.
that's it. The
of
only
wealth.
enemy
It's a
now or
redistribution
person
where
playing hardball with
it could be
trade
the
is
same
EU.
top line, but
So
it's
now
gonna
he's
be
going to go after
distributed
them.
differently. Europe's
And
gonna
then
have to
until
pay a
they
little
bend the
bit
knee.
more.
Otherwise,
The rest of the
as
world's
long as we
gonna
have
have to pay a
China,
little bit
Canada, and
more,
Mexico
America's
on
gonna pay
board,
a lot less.
EU can't
Again,
hang.
because it's a much smaller population than
I like
when
it.
you think of the whole world.
All right, well, guess what? You have 30 more points, though, on the SPY to get to FOMO
Basically, what we're
zone.
doing is equalizing. There's a new word that I came up with, which I think is probably the best word. We're going to equalize. We're all going to pay the same. We're going to pay what Europe's
Play
going
with
to pay.
EU
We're
is
gonna all
long
pay. Now, there
dollar
may
or
be some
short
countries
the
in
euro?
dire need, and I would be
Oh,
willing
Nibis
to
on the high.
sacrifice that and help them. But it's called most favored nation. We are going to pay the lowest price there is in the world.
Okay, XLV is going up on
We'll
that.
get whoever is paying the lowest price.
RTX is good. Make
That's
them
the
free.
price
We
that
already
we're
got
gonna get.
100%.
So
The near
remember
the
that.
monies
So
are
we're
up
no longer
60.
paying 10
The out of the
times
monies went up
more
about
than
200%.
Another country.
So make it free. I already
Whoever
did
is
that.
paying the lowest
I
price.
say, man, I
we will
got
look at
take
that price,
profits. We
and
got a
will
couple of
say
good
that's the
ones,
price
and
we're
that's
going
it,
to
bro.
pay.
Now ride.
Most favored nations.
Most
That's what it is.
favored nation.
One breast cancer drug costs Americans over $16,000 per bottle, but the same drug from the same factory, manufactured by the same company, is 1/6 that price in Australia and 1/10 that price in Sweden. 1/10 for the identical.
Chibsy, stop spamming that question. It doesn't matter. I'm not here to break down political history of this. All that matters is this is big for the pharma industry. And once we find the actual details, it's either going to be a net negative or a net positive. But for now, it looks like it's positive in the sense of affecting other countries rather than companies. But it is a big deal that we are seeing for the market. But the politics and Obama and all, none of that fucking matters.
And the weight loss drug
At least to me personally, I'd rather
costs 10
make
times
a
more in
bag
the
right now.
United States than in the rest of the developed world. 10 times more. Why? What did we do? Suckers.
Okay, going back
But
up.
we never had a president that had the courage to do this. And nobody knew the system.
XLV is getting volume.
like I do.
RTX
I mean,
near the
I
high
know
now.
the system
So
so
again,
well.
make them free. Otherwise, push it.
And I don't
up
think
to
it's
you.
fair that it benefits Obamacare.
got you in, though.
Obamacare is a failure. It's not a good health
China
care.
Commerce Minister,
It
U.S.
works. I
trade
made
talks
it
created
work.
conditions
I had
for
an
further
obligation to make it
bridging
work,
differences. Ministry statement.
Or an obligation to let it die. I chose that we had to make it work. I had to make it as good as possible.
I think Boeing has been moving since
And,
the peach.
I had a choice. I could have let it fail or make it as good as possible. As good as possible means it was still not very good, but it survived. And we did the right thing. But this makes everything work. And
Ozempic
I
costs
don't
more
wanna
in U.S. than in other
have a bad
countries.
form of healthcare work because of the fact I was able to
See,
cut
that's what I'm
drug
saying, though.
prices
It's
by
like,
80 or 90%.
is he going after the companies,
So we're gonna maybe
or is
come
he
up
just
with
trying
something. I
to
think
get
this
better
gives the
prices and
Republicans
then
a chance
hit
to
the
actually
countries?
do a health care that's
So it's
much
going
better
up
than
on that
Obamacare
comment.
and for less money, which if you guys would work on that along with Congress. But I do want to say that Democrats.
So I
could
don't
have
think
done
he's
this a long
trying to
time ago.
clap
They have
the
fought
pharma
like hell
industry
for
as
the
much
drug
as he's
companies.
trying to.
And
He
they
just
knew
wants
they were
everyone to
doing the
lower
wrong
prices,
thing.
but it's
And
weird.
it's
That's
gonna be
why
very
half of the
hard.
XLV is
I was
up,
just
and then
telling,
the other half is
the
down.
leader and the
But that's what I'm
speaker
saying.
that
Like
how
pharma
it's going to be very
and
hard for
all
the
of these
Democrats
stocks could be
to vote
greatly
against the
affected
one
depending on what he does.
big beautiful deal.
We just kind of don't understand it now, or we
Greatest
don't know
tax
what
cuts in history,
it's gonna
greatest
do or
everything,
what
but
the
now you
EU
have
will
the
do.
big drug prices because that's going to be included.
he says it's part of the
It
budget
makes
deal
that
now.
whole situation different from a scoring standpoint. I just told him, I called him up about this. I said, I'm going to do something that's going to be very monumental, and you're going to be scoring. You better tell your people that this is going to score really well, and then add hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs to your list also. But as big as the
Oh,
tariffs
dude,
are,
I
this
have to
is
go
something
through
that
it.
really
I
hits
haven't done it
quickly.
yet. The Friday game.
5 years ago, I signed
I
an
forgot.
executive order
It
to
was a busy
confront
Mother's
this
Day.
disaster, but only confront it in a minor way. It was a good confrontation, but never to this extent. And took people a little while to understand a very
RTX,
complicated
big pop?
system. But Joe Biden, without
Kind of.
any
It's
knowledge
moving
of what he was
towards the
doing,
high.
terminated the policy
We already out
and then
here.
pretended to negotiate under a new system. And then you take a look, 5 out of the 10 drugs that he negotiated are now over 200% more expensive in America than the rest of the world, and far more
Yeah,
expensive
Novartis,
than when he even got
AstraZeneca.
involved.
All of these are going up now.
Much more expensive than when he got involved.
And
Joe
tech
Biden's
is still
plan
holding.
was
Meta's
a-
on the high. Apple.
As you know,
Honestly, I'm
he wrote
surprised
about
the
it.
index
You
isn't
don't say
moving
it very
more.
loudly, but it was a very big failure. Was his whole presidency. First, I'm
Eli Lilly and NVO bouncing on the comments again. I think people are getting the vibe that he wants to hit the countries, not the companies.
Extort drug companies.
But still, I think it's going to be volatile and very
unless
fluid.
They accept bottom line and very low dollar amounts for their product, unfairly shifting the cost burden onto American patients. And we'll be taking a look at that very strongly. The biggest thing we're going to do is
I'm going to go to
we're
the
gonna tell
bathroom
those
while it's
countries,
playing. Follow me on
like
Instagram at the
those
Trading
represented
Fraternity,
by
Real
the
Cold
European
News on
Union,
Twitter.
that
The
you
algo
know, that
knows
game
I'm
is
leaving,
up.
so eyes up.
And if they want to get cute, then they don't have to sell cars into the United States anymore. It's a very big subject. And they won't get cute, because I'll defend the drug companies from that standpoint. They were given a price by the European Unions and other countries. This is what you do. This is what we're going to pay. We're not going to pay any more. Let America pay the difference, because there was a big shortfall. Let America pay it. And that's what we did, but we're not doing it anymore. Next, my administration will secure what we're calling most favored nations drug pricing. The principle is simple. Whatever the lowest price paid for a drug in other developed countries, that is the price that Americans will pay. And we're using the term other developed countries because there are some countries that need some additional help, and that's fine. I think that's very good. Some prescription drug and pharmaceutical prices will be reduced almost immediately by 50 to 80 to 90%. Big Pharma will either abide by this principle voluntarily or will use the power of the federal government to ensure that we are paying the same price as other countries. To accelerate these price restrictions and reductions, my administration will also cut out the middlemen. We're going to totally cut out the famous middlemen. Nobody knows who they are, middlemen. I've been hearing the term for 25 years, middlemen. I don't know who they are, but they're rich. That I can tell you. We're going to cut out the middlemen and facilitate the direct sale of drugs at the most favored nation price directly to the American citizen. So we're cutting out, Bobby, the middlemen. It's so important. Right?
Say eyes up, bro. Algo knows.
They're worse than
but yeah, we're coming down
the
now.
drug companies. They don't even make a product, and they make a fortune. It's very smart business people, that I can tell you. If companies make no significant progress toward most favored nation pricing, which we will insist that they do.
Yeah, UNH getting clapped now. I think it's going to go country by country or company by company.
And we'll insist, and we're going to help the drug companies.
Some of them
with
are
the
getting
other
hit
nations,
more. Some of them are going up on it.
Those nations do a lot of trading with us. They need our trade, just like China needed us very badly. They need us.
Yeah, CVS getting hit off of that.
We will do whatever we have to with trade, just like we did some great things with trade with India and Pakistan. It really helped the situation, very heated situation. Could have lost millions of people, more than millions. I mean, many millions of people. And they want to do business with America, but we never used our powers that way. We never knew how. We never had people that knew how to do that. We'll also open up America's market to safe and legal imports of affordable drugs from other countries, putting dramatic downward pressure on prices. And if necessary, we'll investigate the drug companies, and we'll, in particular, investigate the countries that are doing this, and we will add it onto the price that we charge them for doing business in America. In other words, we'll add it onto tariffs if they don't do what is right, which is everybody.
Yeah,
should
watch
equalize.
CVS. Watch any middlemen.
Same price. Special interests may not like this very much.
But even then, I'm not like, I like the CVS, even Hims, but I don't trust it. I feel like this is still kind of
I'm doing this
convoluted.
Against the most powerful
so now
lobby in the
Biogen's
world,
popping up.
Probably the drug lobby, drug and pharmaceutical lobby. But it's one of the most important orders, I think, that's ever been signed, certainly with regard to
I think it's big. We
healthcare,
just don't know the full details.
in the
Like,
history of our
again, how
country,
it's
and
going to
it's an
play
honor to
out,
be a
who's
part
more
of it, and I'd like
compliant,
to
who's
ask,
not. That's why I'm
Robert
like,
F.
it's a
Kennedy
little,
to say a few
I don't know
words,
what
please.
type of
Thank you.
follow-through we're going to get.
Thank you, Mr. President.
RFK.
This is an extraordinary day. This is an issue that, I grew up in the Democratic Party, and every major Democratic leader for 20 years has been making this promise to the American people. This was the fulcrum of Bernie Sanders' runs for presidency, that he was going to eliminate this discrepancy between Europe and the United States. But as it turns out, none of them were doing it. It's one of these promises that politicians make to their constituents, knowing that they'll never have to do it. And the reason they'll never have to do it is because they know that Congress is controlled in so many ways by the pharmaceutical industry. There's at least one pharmaceutical lobbyist for every congressman, every senator in Capitol Hill, and every member of the Supreme Court.
Yeah, CVS still dropping.
By some estimates, 3. Pharmaceutical companies, the industry itself spends 3 times what the next largest lobbyist spends on lobbying. So this was an issue that people talked about, but nobody wanted to do anything because it was radioactive. They knew you couldn't get it by Congress. We now have a president who is a man of his word, who has the courage. President Trump was taking money from the pharmaceutical industry too. I think they gave you $100 million. But he can't be bought, unlike most of the politicians in this country. And he is standing here for the American people. I don't know what, there's writers like Lord Elizabeth Warren or Robert Reich who are saying that President Trump is on this side of the oligarchs. There has never been a president more willing to stand up to the oligarchs than President Donald Trump. And I'm very, very proud of you, Mr. President, for your courage, I'll say, because I don't want to be crude, your intestinal fortitude, your stiff spine, and your willingness to stand up for the American people. We have 4.2% of the world's population. Our country represents 75% of the revenues for pharmaceutical companies. We spend in our country $1,126 per capita on drugs. In Britain, they spend about $240. They spend 1/5 of what we do.
Yeah, CVS still kept going.
Across Europe.
That took another 1 or 2%.
The drug companies, Europeans, if you ask them, it made no sense what they were saying. America has to pay for this innovation or it's not going to happen. President Trump is saying
SPY's still going lower now.
Partners,
Again, this whole back and forth
raise
middleman comments, up and down, up and down.
The innovation.
Again, you're still actually moved within the same 2 points, but if we do break here, we're going to start going lower. You didn't break out of the chop zone level.
Just 20%.
So 5,800 flat, I mean, you have 200 points to gap.
That can be spent on innovation, and the health of all people all across the globe is going to increase because we're going to have better products. So I'm just so grateful to be here today. I never thought that this would happen in my lifetime. I have a couple of kids who are Democrats, are big Bernie Sanders fans, and when I told them that this was going to happen, they had tears in their eyes because they thought this is never going to happen in our lifetime, and we finally have a president who's willing to stand up for the American people. Thank you, and Dr. Oz.
Thank you, Secretary Kennedy. This is the most powerful executive order on pharmacy pricing and healthcare ever in the history of our nation. And it's only happening because we have a president with the fortitude, the guts to stand up to the withering criticism and lobbying that's going to occur.
Okay, you're going lower now.
As soon as folks
That's
hear
finally
about
breaking. Watch the biotechs, watch
on
CVS.
behalf of the child in Philadelphia,
Again, I
an
think it's
autoimmune
more
disease with
about the
$1,000 a
pharma
month
stuff,
drug,
and then
or
you had
the,
some other China stuff
older,
earlier.
Woman
Just
in
a little
Los
bit of cold
Angeles
water.
who's on a blood thinner who can't afford her copay.
But we have
I
a
wanna thank
fat
President
range.
Trump. God bless you for having the guts to take on this industry. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
So let's talk about the details a little bit. And this is primarily about equalization, as President Trump said. It's about fairness.
Let's hear the
Think of NATO
details.
as a metaphor. When President Trump said, you've got to pay a little more so it makes sense for all of us, they came up. And the European countries contributed. The same thing we believe will happen in this situation. Most people who have thought about this process agree that it is patently unfair to tolerate the numbers that Secretary Kennedy
Disney
and
on the
President
low.
Trump have
Again,
reflected
nuclear
to you.
dropping too,
On this
SMR.
chart to my
Okay,
left
but that's your first
is a list of
actual
the
new
10
low of the
drugs that are
day.
negotiated
I don't know
in
if we
the
broke
IRA.
5,800.
Again, this is the
We're about to, though.
the bill.
This is the level.
That
Yeah.
regulates,
So you went 5
a
points below.
negotiation
5,800
process.
is
This
now
the
broken.
Best price, that
I mean,
was able to be obtained by
it's
the
literally
Biden
100
administration.
points to get
And
into
if you look
any
at these numbers,
gap
they
fill or
actually
other
reflect
level we
how
were
much
at.
on top of the most favored nation price was being paid by the United States. So the closest to me, Bob, you can point to the Jardiance, the closest one, 289%, the one that's closest to you. That means that we are paying in America 4 times more than that drug costs in other countries. Again, 100% is the baseline. It's 289% above that baseline. It goes all the way down to when we're paying 50% more than any other country. That's the range. As was pointed out by President Trump, half the time we're paying 3 times more than is paid in other countries. It doesn't make any sense for the system. That stated, President Trump has over and over again indicated, and Secretary Kennedy reflected as well, we want innovation. We want our technology partners doing the best they can to make the best solutions for drugs to cure as many people in America and around the world as possible. By getting our allies to pay a bit more, as they should be, and they should have for many years been doing, will course correct a problem that's gotten out of hand. And by doing that in a thoughtful, effective way, we're going to be able to get the pharmaceutical industry whole. Those jobs will still be here, will still be productive, will still be curing cancer and a slew of other ailments that plague humanity. America will still be the leader in this space, but we'll be paying the appropriate amount, the right-sized amount for those tasks. So over the next 30 days, the 4 of us up here, together with people standing in the back of this room who are doing a lot of the heavy lifting, are going to be approaching pharmaceutical companies to talk specifically about what we want the most favored nation price to be based on the best data we have. We're looking forward to a thoughtful interaction with these corporate leaders.
Okay, Q's are on the high. I'm going for Pharma plays. I found another one.
The way it is. They're
But
patriotic
that's it.
Americans.
Other
They
than
want
that,
what's right.
kind of waiting.
But the
There's
fact
going to be
that
some
in
winners
my
and losers.
lifetime, as Secretary
But yeah,
Kennedy said,
we're
for the
breaking
first
the
time,
5,800.
we have
I
a
think you're down
thoughtful
20 more
and
points now.
aggressive approach, thanks to President Trump, on
Yep,
taking
12
on
more.
the special interests. Should give all Americans.
But that's your
confidence,
biggest move of the day so
that this
far.
is an administration that stands
And
for fairness
Bitcoin
and
going
should show
on.
the
A lot of the
waters
risk on
to
is
those
starting
who
to fade a
believe
little
they
bit.
can push us away
No, I mean, we're
from our
still up
North Star,
2.5%,
which is to take care
3%.
of the American
So
people.
it
Mr. President,
feels
God
bad,
bless you.
and we're not going up as much anymore. But
Jay, you wanna
yeah,
go next?
keep that in mind.
So I teach economics at Stanford as well as health policy. And one thing that's really, really simple in economics is that when you have a persistent price difference for the same product between 2 countries, there is something deeply wrong. And what President Trump has done is a historic measure that should have been done a long time ago. What we're going to do is make sure that those prices become much closer to equal, like a competitive market you'd expect. Right now, what's happening is the American people are subsidizing in large fraction.
Yeah, Palantir is dumping too.
The research and development efforts for drug companies around the world by the higher prices that we pay. With this new order, Europe will share the burden of that. And in fact,
Well, I was
you
just
can
at
think of it
all-time
as like
highs. I was still
as
there,
Somehow
but
it's
still.
like it's going after drug companies. Actually, it's helping drug companies. Because what we're also going to do with this order, what President Trump has done with
Well,
this order,
Apple's still going
is
up too, though.
sent it to
So
European,
even in the midst of this, it
governments.
feels a certain
Look,
way,
we
you
are
guys,
taking
but
advantage
it's
of
actually
drug
kind of
companies
small.
by forcing
That
them
last
to
move was the
charge very,
biggest,
very low
but
prices. We're
yeah,
going to
like
defend American drug companies.
you
in
didn't
Europe.
remember. There's big
At
news over
same
the
time,
weekend.
We're standing up for the American
U.S.
consumer
said
who've
to
been
welcome
paying
EU
far too high
proposal to
prices far too
cooperate on
long.
economic
I can go
security.
back
I got good
decades
EU news
to,
coming in now.
Congressional report after government report after government report of tremendously high drug prices, much higher than the rest of the world, and nothing has been done about it until this moment. And I'm
So
really,
far,
really
this is
proud
all
of
just
President
explaining
Trump
this
that
pharma
you've
stuff
done
and
this.
some of the
I'm
China
really
stuff.
proud to be included in this. And looking
Trump
forward
said
to
a
the
couple
work
of
ahead.
things, and then, yeah, you had that effect.
Thank you, Mr. President. On behalf of the many doctors I've talked to about this very issue, thank you for taking the bull by the horns. Presidents on both sides of the aisle have talked about this and floated it and said they've wanted to do it, so you've had the courage to do it. Thank you. I've been a surgical oncologist at Johns Hopkins for 22 years, and I have seen patients suffer. We didn't take an oath to heal patients and then watch their life get ruined financially, with their home, mortgage, retirement, going down the drain with GoFundMe campaigns, raising money from church communities and synagogues and friends they haven't seen in 20 years to try to raise money for what? For a system where Americans have been getting ripped off by 10, 12, 15 times higher prices than we see in other countries. The fundamental problem in healthcare is that we've had non-competitive markets. We can do little things around the edges, or we can transform those markets to competitive markets, and that's what this executive order does today. Imagine buying a Ford for $175,000.
Google Gemma AI model surpasses
a regular car,
150
and then
million
hearing that
downloads.
people in London are buying it for $10,000 every day, all day long. That is the craziness of this system. We're going to do everything we can at the FDA to support this executive order. It's transformative. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So thank you very much, everybody. It's I think it's a very important day. In many ways, you have, we'll start with the Houthis. We go to Pakistan and India. We go to what we did with China, the trade deal, and with UK. And by the way, many other deals are coming in very much. At a certain point, we'll just set the price because we know where we are. But we'll just set the price. But world trade is
Grandma's 93rd. Enjoy it, baby.
And,
Tell her happy
our
birthday.
country's going to be making a lot of money. Taxes are going to go down. Taxes are going to go down very, very substantially. But you look at all of the things that we've done, and now today I'm heading over. We'll see what we're going to do with respect to Iran. I think you have very good things happening there, too, by the way. I think can't have a nuclear weapon, but I think that they are talking intelligently. We're in the midst of talking.
Yeah, low
to them,
ticker's still fully gassed right now.
right now acting.
Again, watch big tech.
Very
Bonds are catching a
intelligent. We
bid,
want
but
Iran to
yeah, we're
be
still near the low.
wealthy and
Again, this is the
wonderful
biggest
and
move. I
happy
think
and
this is about to wrap up.
But they can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. So
Modi makes
I think
first
they
comment
understand
on
that we
conflict.
mean-
We
that
gave
I
a
mean
free
business,
hand to the
and,
Indian
they-
army to bury the
I think they're,
terrorists.
being very reasonable
Jeez.
thus far. And don't underestimate
Fed Kugler, I
Thursday
had
in
comments
Turkey.
earlier, but I wouldn't really care too much.
President Erdogan
You guys
is
can,
gonna
but
be a
I
great
genuinely
host.
believe that
And
nobody on
we
the
are
Fed matters now
doing
except Powell.
some work
Their
with
comments
him
only
having
add
to do with
confusion,
Syria,
and they haven't
too,
been
by the
reliable.
way. We're gonna have
I'm
to
not
make
going to
a
listen to them.
decision on the sanctions, which we may very well relieve. We may take them off of Syria because we want to give them a fresh start. But President Erdogan's asked me about that.
Okay, you're
Many
still holding
people have
down,
asked
though.
me
Bonds
about
have
that,
gone
just the way
straight
we have
up.
them
Spies have
sanctioned.
moved
It
5
doesn't
minutes.
really
You're near
give
the
them much
low.
of a start.
A couple names moving.
So
You
we
got
wanna see if
Domino's
we
on the
can help
high.
them out.
And then Sound.
So we'll
And
make
Apple's
that
still looking
determination.
good.
But
Pizza,
I think you're
pizza.
gonna have maybe a good meeting. You have the potential for a good meeting. That a meeting wasn't
Oil,
going to
nice.
take place. I insisted.
Well,
that
don't
that
flex
meeting
plays, though,
take place.
Danny. Come on, bro.
And it
Come
is
on.
taking
Proud of
place.
you,
And
but
I think
no,
you may
yeah.
have a good result out
Follow
of
the
the
rules,
Thursday
please.
meeting
Thank
in
you.
Turkey between Russia and Ukraine. And I believe the two leaders were going to be there. I was thinking about flying over. I don't know where I'm going to be on Thursday. I've got so many meetings. But I was thinking about actually flying over there. There's a possibility of it, I guess, if I think things can happen. But we got to get it done. We got to save 5,000
I don't know why
lives
Walmart
a
is
week.
red.
5,000 lives is really
They have
more than
earnings,
that.
too.
It's worse than that. And when you see and you don't want to see it, but when you see the satellite photographs of the battlefield with arms and legs and heads all over the place, separated by 30 yards from bodies, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense. So we're working very hard to see if we can end that bloodbath. Okay, there shouldn't be too many questions. It's been covered pretty well.
Mr. President, thank you for taking questions. Two quick ones for you, starting on trade. If a longer-term deal is not reached with China at the end of these 90 days, can the American people expect those tariffs to go back up to 145%?
No, but they would go up substantially higher.
That's
You
good.
know, at 145, you're really decoupling because nobody's going to buy. But they can go. They
Yeah,
got
you just
very
figured
high
that out.
because of additional tariffs I applied
Hey.
during the course.
Well, that's
because of
good.
fentanyl and
So
other
this
things.
deal
But-
isn't
no,
done,
they
but
go
at least it won't ever
substantially
go that high.
Cutter, Mr. President,
I think you will have a deal, however.
Okay, you're confident that there will be a deal.
I
On
think we'll
Qatar,
have a
has
deal.
Qatar asked for anything in exchange for that $400 million luxury jumbo jet? And how can the American people be so sure that they will not in the future?
Well, I think what happens with the plane is that, we're very disappointed that it's taking Boeing so long to build a new Air Force One. We have an Air Force One that's 40 years old. And if you take a look at that compared to the new plane of the equivalent, stature at the time, it's not even the same ballgame. You look at some of the Arab countries and the planes they have parked alongside of the United States of America plane, it's like from a different planet. And it's close to 40 years old, might be more than 40 years old now. And we, when I first came in, I signed an order to get it built. I took it over from the Obama administration. They had originally agreed. I got the price down much lower. And then when the election didn't exactly work out the way that it should have, a lot of work was not done on the plane because a lot of people didn't know. They made change orders that were so stupid, so ridiculous. And it ended up being a total mess, a real mess. And when I came back, I said, by the way, what's going on with the Boeings that are coming in? Well, sir, they're way behind. And they are. They're way behind. They were way behind. Another mess that I inherited from Biden. And it's going to be a while before we get them. And I think Qatar, who we've helped them a lot over the years in terms of security and safety. I think they, and very, very nicely, and I have a lot of respect for the leadership and for the leader, Qatar. And I think they knew about it because they buy Boeings. They buy a lot of Boeings. And they knew about it. And they said, we would like to do something. And if we can get a 747 as a contribution to our Defense Department to use during a couple of years while they're building the other ones, I think that was a very nice gesture. Now, I could be a stupid person and say, oh, no, we don't want a free plane. We give free things out. We'll take one, too. And it helps us out because, again, we're talking about we have 40-year-old aircraft. The money we spend, the maintenance we spend on those planes to keep them tippy-top is astronomical. You wouldn't even believe it. So I think it's a great gesture from Qatar. I appreciate it very much.
Make it free. Just ask me that one. I like that.
Turn down that kind of an offer. I mean, I could be a stupid person say, no, we don't want a free, very expensive airplane. But
I'll take get Josh a house. He'll take a free house. I'll tell you.
And continue to.
Get Josh a house.
Continue to.
Make it
all of
free.
Those countries, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, and others, we keep them safe. If it wasn't for us, they probably wouldn't exist right now. And I think this was just a gesture of good faith. And I don't get it. Someday it'll be like Ronald Reagan. They decommission them. You know, they get to a certain age, they decommission them. It'll go to my library. They're talking about going to my library.
90% of your comments in the chat are TTD.
But I thought it was a great gesture.
Good luck.
And it's something that was done by Ronald Reagan. They actually
remember, assume everybody owns it.
Library, and it actually has made the library.
But yeah, I made my TTD free twice.
It's actually made the library.
I didn't have to say shit though. You know what I'm saying?
Do you plan to use the plane after you leave office?
No, I don't. No,
it
would go directly to the library after I leave office. I wouldn't be using it. No.
Mr. President, on the hostage, you said that the release of the American hostage, Adam Alexander, is a step in good faith to end this war. Do you expect any progress, perhaps?
EWJ's on the high. Japan.
During your trip to the Middle
Eyes
East?
on that in the end.
And
then see if the bonds too, because bonds might go green.
As you know, so. When I met with the hostages 3 weeks ago that were there for quite a while, you remember the 10.
Okay, EWJ on the high, and then We Ride. Zillow's even on the high, too. Spy at VWAP here, right below 5,800.
Trials and
no, I'm not eating jelly beans. I'm eating
and I said,
vitamin
B12.
They said
59.
I got those little, like, dissolvable B12 things. They're amazing.
We got a lot of hostages out. I think you will.
I'm going to have another one.
They said 59. But then they said, they followed that up by saying 59, of which 24 are living, the rest are dead.
You got TTD in the 57? Well, listen, Devin.
Mostly son.
Posting the long term is definitely allowed, so good work. That's a play I want to see.
Are there? Those people want the dead bodies as much as they want the live body. I have a mother that calls me, that came up to me when I first met her, and she said, sir,
I just don't like needles.
Please get my son out. He's dead, but they have his body. And I asked her about
Roku on the high. Okay, high-low ticker's kind of balanced out. There's coin, TTD again.
Of wanting that
again, Japan just woke up out of nowhere.
The same. It couldn't
I would look at that.
As though he were
I scared you for a little. My
bad. Getting the bodies back is very important.
It's good though. I like long-term plays.
Having to do with the
coin on the high.
I was amazed.
Yeah, vitamin. It tastes like pennies.
It's the same as if
you get the shot. I know exactly what you're talking about.
Whatever was alive.
Tastes like copper.
So they said 59. In fact, they came in with a number 59 written out on like a sign on their chest.
TLT on the high and Japan. I got Japan the top right.
And
again, most tech is up. Let me get you guys a checkup. Actually,
well, that means
we've been here for about an hour.
But then they said, but 24 are living. Now it's 21. The number's 21. So now it's actually we'll get Eton today. We think we're getting him today. So
Dow Jones 23 green, 7 in the red.
The rest are dead bodies.
Nasdaq 100 83 green, 18 in the red.
Tariffs on cars, steel, and aluminum.
SPY 384 green, 118 red. It's about 70% green. So you got a little bit of red.
Business back into this country.
And it's not as one way.
Commitments, not only commitments, they've already started construction on many plants. They've left Mexico in a few cases.
Weave on the high.
In a few cases, they've left Canada. They're not going to build in Canada. They're going to build here because we have the market.
Again, Japan out of nowhere.
have been amazing. The
That
election
one's
and the
actually kind of
tariffs.
interesting.
November 5th was a big day, and on top of that, of course, you wouldn't have the tariffs without the election.
Long term is more
than
than allowed. Yeah, man.
We
I
have
love it.
At least
TTD
11
again.
committed massive.
Okay, SPY back to
car
VWAP. I
factories
believe
that
we
are
are
gonna
above
be,
5,800 again.
built, that
So
are gonna
again,
be,
40
that are in
points
the
to
process of
FOMO.
being built. And
Yeah,
some
about
are going
40
some have
points,
actually
41 points
started.
FOMO
We also
zone.
have
We're back to
renovations
open.
of
You had a little bit of a freak
existing
out
factories where
there
they weren't
explaining the
utilizing
China
full
deal and the
factory from
pharma
years gone
tariffs.
by, and now they're under full renovation. They'll be opening up full factories in a very short period of time. Our car industry is, I think we're going to have the #1 industry. You know, if you look at Japan and these others, they do tremendously with cars, and they can do that too. But you know, if they want to sell cars in the United States, they're going to have to build factories in the United States, because I'm interested in cars for the United States. Now, one other thing is, in our tax bill, we're giving not only no tax on tips, no tax
interest.
on Social Security, no tax on overtime, but also we're going to get a deduction for people that borrow money to buy a car.
That's crazy.
If it's made in America.
That means Teslas will be even
we have
cheaper.
no interest.
You'll get a write-off on your Tesla.
Meeting with between President Putin as
Okay,
well as
SPY
President
going now.
Zelensky. If President Putin doesn't,
You're just right back to open, but that was just a nice little recovery off the bottom. Couple names, Japan still moving. You got MOS on the high, CoreWeave, TTD, Pizza.
They couldn't get a meeting because one
Check
said
Toyota.
ceasefire, one
Toyota's
said
kind of
no
moving. It's up
ceasefire,
too.
was going back and
Again,
forth.
CoreWeave really running now.
At this point, we got to stop it. Just go to the
gotta
meeting.
stop
The
it.
meeting's been set. Go to the meeting on Thursday. And if I thought it would be helpful, I don't know where I'm going to be at that particular point. I'll be someplace.
Yeah, it's
in the
not
Middle East,
just
but I would
EVs.
fly
Any
there if I
US
thought it would
car.
be helpful. Yeah.
J&J again.
Refugees. I want to ask you about South African refugees. Dozens of Afrikaners who claim discrimination in their home country are heading to the United States,
Right.
where your administration is going to welcome them as refugees. Now, this comes as you've halted virtually all refugee admissions for people fleeing famine and war from countries like Sudan and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Why are you creating an expedited path into the country for Afrikaners but not others?
Because they're being killed. And, we don't
Amen.
want to see people be killed.
What a simple
Now,
answer.
South Africa leadership is coming to see me, I understand, sometime
That is kind of odd, though.
next week.
So you have
And,
Trump
we're
opening
supposed
up
to
an
have
avenue
I guess
for
a G20 meeting, there,
political or
something, but we're
immigrants
having
and
a G20
refugees.
Meeting. I don't know how
Yeah.
we can go unless that
That's not
situation's,
really, especially with his
taken care of,
priority
but it's a
being,
genocide
close the
that's taking
borders and
place
all
that you
that.
people don't want
I
to
don't think
write
a lot of
about.
people expected
But
that.
it's a terrible thing that's taking place, and farmers
Eli's
are
back
being
at
killed.
high.
They happen to be white,
Damn.
but whether they're white or black makes no difference to me. But white farmers are being brutally killed, and their land is being confiscated in
Okay.
South Africa.
So SPY
And
just
the
went up and then
newspapers and the media,
pulled back.
television media doesn't
white
even talk about it.
refugees.
If
Maybe,
it were the
okay,
other
maybe
way
that's
around,
all.
they talk about it. That would be the
What the
only
fuck?
story they talk about. And I don't care who they are. I don't care about
But,
their race,
but
their
that's
color. I don't
my
care about
family
their
in South
height, their
Africa.
weight. I
Just,
don't care about anything. I just know
Med
that
Milan,
what's
we got
happening
a
is
slashed
terrible.
deficit
We have
and South
people
Africa.
that live in South
We got
Africa,
to
they
give
say
them
it's a terrible
refugees.
situation taking
Donald, can
place.
you do
So,
that?
we've
Donald,
essentially extended
my
citizenship
dad
to
from
those
South
people,
Africa, Donald.
to,
Donald. We got
escape
to
from
slash the
that
deficit.
violence and
Donald.
come here. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Donald.
Please.
Mr. President, thank you. Are you letting China off the hook for these 90 days, and do you really believe
I like
that they will
Chipotle, I
follow
just don't
through
like
with
the price.
non-tariff barriers?
It's still up there.
Non-monetary tariffs, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, I
TLT
think
on the
they're gonna
high.
follow through. I think
So
they
again,
want it very
Japan was
badly.
moving
I think
too.
They want the deal very badly. Again, this doesn't include
Maybe at
the
like
steel
29
tariffs
bucks,
that
I take
put on a long
Chipotle.
time ago
I
that
still love
Biden
the
tried to
company.
get
It's
off, but he
just
couldn't
it's
get
very
off 'cause it
very
was too much
high
money.
priced.
You know, I took in hundreds of billions of dollars from China.
I like
A lot
Sweet
of
Green.
people
It's
don't
almost
know,
at the
but we
price.
put
I like
on
McDonald's
tariffs
too.
originally, and if I didn't do that, we wouldn't have a steel industry today. Now we have a thriving steel industry. It'll be thriving much more with what we're doing because this is the next level. But it doesn't include that. Doesn't
Bro,
include
J&J
cars,
and
doesn't
PG
include
as well. Those
pharmaceuticals
are just
when we
going
do that.
green. Japan,
And the
another
reason
candle.
We're doing that will be to get them to come back in. The
TSM
country.
is
You know,
up there. The only
are,
chip
again,
play I think
always
with
say it
value is
because a lot of
Intel,
people
sadly.
forget, but if a company like Eli Lilly, which is making a massive investment in the United States
Oh,
right now,
he's
they're
talking
building
Eli.
many plants. They've already started like 7 of them, many plants, but they are not going to be tariffed. There's no tariff cost. So they're all doing that. They're all coming back to the United States. I mean, I'll tell you what, I hope I get the benefit of watching this because, as president, because, you know, it takes a little while to do this stuff. and we're doing it early in the
I
administration.
want to play Eli,
If
but
you
it's
think of it,
expensive.
we have, I believe, if you look
Okay,
at the
SPY's
real
holding up
total, it's
too.
over $10 trillion committed for plants and factories. Other administrations haven't had $1 trillion over a
TTD about
four-year
to hit
period,
80.
even over an 8-year period. We have over $10 trillion committed in one form or the other over 2 months. Give me a break. I'm here to hear three.
Yeah,
but let's
Abby
give me
Rye
a
was
break
right.
on
A
the
lot of
first-
them were. It's kind
on
of
the
crazy.
first month. We want to get acclimated, but but if you think about it, it's really
There's
2
Eli
months.
going.
And so in 2 months, we have an investment already of over $10 trillion, and other presidents haven't had that done over a year, over 4 years in some cases. It's unprecedented. There's never been anything like it. It's a very exciting time in America. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much. All right, that's it.
Mr. President, are you ready to impose sanctions
I got a sign.
on Russia if Putin doesn't agree with the 30-day
I have a
ceasefire?
feeling they're going to agree.
Oh,
I do.
I have a
And
feeling.
you other countries,
Let's see what
no European countries involved, Mr. President, in the negotiations.
The budget bill negotiations are taking place. Who in your administration is in charge of that while you're gone? Is it
Everybody,
J.D. Vance,
Bobby from
Everybody.
medical, this group behind me. I mean, I think it's a
Hey, man, Eli Lilly's going, bro. I told you I wanted to play. They're just expensive. They already went up $100
You're
bucks.
going to see a tremendous.
Honestly, there's still. You got to be willing to spend a couple hundred. Dude, they all just
Medicaid
doubled.
And Medicare.
I told you I wanted to play Eli, bro. They all went crazy.
Drugs are 50-60%.
Yeah, they didn't even show those pictures that I played, but I played RTX. Those already went up a couple 100%, 50 on the near the money. That Eli Lilly just went up 100%. If you bought one from when I said I wanted it, those just doubled, all of them, even like $50 out the money.
Say, listen, if you don't pay more, we're not going to give you the drug, and they're willing to do that. So that's it. They have to. We have to equalize.
Mr. President, what is
Back to price control.
Equalize.
How do you
Equalization.
respond to the fact that this?
It's not price control. No. What was price control is before. If you want to talk about price control, is what they were doing. They were making us pay. They set a price, and they said, "Here's what we're going to pay, and anything else charge America." Because at that time they had a very stupid president, and it really went crazy during the last 4 years. And remember this, the Democrats are the ones that allowed this to happen. They were the ones that were the protector of this pricing system. And I think it's going to be very hard. You'll have to ask
Yeah,
Democrats.
bro. Eli Lilly, we
are
should
they
have
gonna
took
vote
that.
against
Those
the
literally all just doubled.
one great, big,
Fuck.
beautiful
$1.50 to
deal that's being
$300.
negotiated
In
now,
that
tax
2 minutes,
cuts,
I was like,
etc.
ooh, I want
But
it.
now on top of the tax cuts and regulation cuts, all the things, now you're going to say that the price of your medicine is going down by 60, 70, 80%. You're going to vote against it? I think a lot of Democrats are going to be
You're gonna
forced
vote
to do
against?
something that their leaders are going to beg them not to do, and that's vote for the bill. I don't see how they can vote against it. How can they vote against it when drugs and pharmaceuticals
True.
are
It's
going to
one
be
of the
down
biggest impacts of CPI.
70, 80%? It's going to be very interesting.
Mr. President, what's
It's
the
gonna be very
that
interesting.
luxury jet as a personal gift to you? Why not leave it
You're
behind?
ABC fake news, right?
Why not
It's
leave
only ABC. Well, a few of you would. Let me tell you, you should be embarrassed.
No, you're fine.
asking
Like I
me
said, I
questions.
saw the move. I called
They're
it
giving
out.
us
I
a
said I
free
wanted
jet.
it. I just
I
didn't want
can
to pay
say,
that
no,
much.
No, don't give us. I want to
So,
pay you $1 billion.
We good,
or
babe.
400 million.
Don't
or
worry.
whatever
We
it
got
is.
some good hits today.
Or I could say,
I hope
thank
y'all
you
paid
very
yourself.
much. You know, there was an old golfer named Sam Snead. Did you ever hear of him?
Sam
He won
Snead.
82
I've heard
tournaments.
that.
He was a great golfer. And he had a motto: when they give you a putt, you say thank you very much. You pick up your ball and you walk to the next hole. A lot of people are stupid. They say, no, I insist on putting it. And then they putt it and they miss it. And their partner gets angry at them. You know what? Remember that, Sam Snead. When they give you a putt, you pick it up and you walk to the next hole and you say, thank you very much.
Respectfully,
Mr.
sir,
President,
as a
Amen.
businessman, some people may
Mr.
look at this
President.
and say, have you ever been given a gift worth millions of dollars and then not received
It's
anything
not a gift
else?
to me, it's a gift to the Department of Defense.
Miss-
And you should know better, because you've been embarrassed enough, and so has your network. Your network is a disaster.
Yeah,
ABC
amen.
is a disaster. Here is the...
He's like, I already
Bobby,
sued
come
you
on
guys.
over here. Now you're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Mr. President, a quick question about Turkey.
Thank you very much.
Well, there you have it. All right. Well, not bad. I hope you guys, again, there were some good plays there. We even acted on a couple. I'm about to make one more set of RTX free. The near the monies are up like 70 now. Okay, I made my RTX. That was the play I was talking about. They had a chart that said Golden Dome for America before he came on. And I told you guys I saw something and I'm making a play. That's what I did. I did RTX. We bought it right here. The stock was literally at the bottom and I saw that chart. I grabbed out the monies and then near the monies, they all went up anywhere from 200 to 70%. You've been embarrassed. I mean, it is kind of true. You would think, because like they keep making. I mean, look at the market, you guys. Look at all this and the upside and all times highs. You know what I'm saying? But it didn't help that you had literally a lot of people kind of manufacture the fear. It didn't help. I think even Trump realizes it. You even heard him when he was like, "Yeah, we're not going back to 150," because Trump didn't help. What Trump did with trade policy helped confirm a lot of the fear mongering. But when it's all said and done, I mean, look, you've seen people really, really hype all of this stuff up, tell you America's over and all that. And then look, in a couple of weeks now it's a completely different story. So we'll see where we go from there. But I do think, I mean, the last month especially, we have all had a lot of hesitancy towards the major networks headlines. I mean, again, there's been a lot of rumors, and even though people are like, oh, it's Trump buying, it's like, no, we could look at a lot of other actors and be like, yeah, they're kind of adding to this volatility and uncertainty. So it's good that we got better than expected news. It was good to hear from Trump. I think he did pour some cold water on that by saying the China deal, by saying it's not on paper yet. And I think some people are a little bit worried about that. Other than that, though, I think the drug pricing thing, everyone's kind of debating. Again, he helped Eli Lilly there kind of with what he said with no tariffs. But I think everybody's trying to figure out, the full details, and it will be big for him. And then Core Weave, not bad. But, yeah, I hope you took profits. Premiums are way higher in the morning. Other things came back up, and there were some good dip buys there if you actually took them. So it was not that bad. Okay, the plug. Well, thank you. There were some good ones. The deal with China is that it's a 90-day pause on all tariffs, or the rate on the extreme tariffs. So pretty much we're charging them 30 and they're charging us 10, which is, again, it's amazingly good. Because remember, we were even debating 60 or 80 over the weekend, and I was telling you guys, yeah, that's not good at all. But now in this case, it seems a little better. How much would that be? Okay, not bad. But yeah, it's very, very good. The China deal is now it at least gives us a little bit of time. And then now this whole trade embargo, or let me put it this way, everybody that was telling you, and again, I was worried about the ships myself, but like we said, let's see what happens. But that whole like, oh my gosh, wait till May happens and then there's nothing in stores. That's not going to occur anymore. So again, the ships were already moving, but now you have no virtual embargo in place. So now China and anybody looking to do business with China, I mean, you could theoretically do it with pretty minimal barriers or what we were at before. Yeah, CPI tomorrow, that'll add to it. SPY's coming down here a little bit, so watch out for that. Uber, and then that other one, We Ride. That started moving up there. ATRO. Okay, SPY's coming down. A couple of the winners. Don't underestimate Apple's impact and everything else. Mag 7, big tech, they're going to move around a little bit. So if big money didn't get the chance to participate, we expect a sell-off. I mean, I think we're just going to go headline by headline. And again, what happens in Saudi, what happens in other places, the full details. And then we have Jerome Powell and a couple of other events that I think everyone's going to go back and forth on. So, but I still think we're in Chop City. I mean, I don't think anything has really changed, and I think we're going to go do this a lot more, as wild as that sounds. So even if we get past the FOMO zone, I still think that'll have an effect. So we will see. Come on. All right, so SPY, VWAP, couple other runners. Can you say? No, I will not. So you guys need to learn the long term. Like I was saying on Friday, give me, we'll come back in a couple of months and I'll see if we should post the plays again. But if you are trying to listen to my options advice without following the long term, it's useless. So we need long terms. You need long terms. You need savings. If we haven't put in our full focus on that, all these little option trades are going to be a waste, and you will not be able to take advantage of them effectively. Roku's on the high. Playing the pug, baby. Ooh. Okay, why won't they fill these plays, bro? I'm trying to make something free, but they won't fill me because they hate me. Okay, they filled them? I hate these people, bro. Right when I canceled, it filled me. And then they raised the price. I was about to cancel it. All right. You like the lack of people pumping plays? It's not bad. That's what I'm saying, man. I don't know. It was really just a small group of people that wanted to post these plays. And I think they were just pumping and trying to confuse people. So at the end of the day, I think a lot of you like it so far. And again, you could pay the plug, but you don't need to tell anybody anything. And like I'm saying, if people keep posting stuff, you should probably assume that they own it. And like I'm saying, I go through the chat facts. You could see most people are only posting what they have. So nothing wrong with that. But now we don't have to play this game of, I'm not here to babysit. No one else is, and get the info. And like I've been saying, though, long term, again, your long terms are up an extraordinary amount in the last month. And again, now we have plays, stocks at all-time highs in our account. So there's a lot of good things going on there. And then if you had other plays you held and you already made them free, you woke up to some luck today. So not bad at all. Even then, the last couple weeks are a little slow on the option trades, but this today this gave us back all of our money and some. So, but like I'm saying, go slow. Long term, we'll come back to the plays eventually, but I hope you guys see why my priority has been long term. You know what I'm saying? It's very, very simple. That I think you guys see it. Like, look at this last month and all of it. So it's like get a long term, focus on that, and let's take advantage of these opportunities. The plays will come again. I mean, we've called even Eli Lilly. Geez, man, there's plays that you're gonna find, but if you're losing your money, you don't have a budget, and you're getting killed by this chop, like, what good is it? We need to start long term. We need to stay focused. Don't get caught up in all the dumb hype plays, and everybody's trying to get you to part with your money, or they're trying to confuse you and not give you the clarity. So take it slow, but long term should come first, and then all of the plays will fall in your lap. I don't know if they feel me, bro. I'm trying to tell them. I'm trying to tell them, baby. Yeah, dude, those core weaves. Yeah, no, with all the craziness that happened, this is what I was saying on the video yesterday on the trading fraternity. Like, do you guys not realize that if we have a stagflation environment, or we have a back and forth for a couple of years, we're going to come out extraordinarily well, God willing. Think about it. You now have, not only is your account near the highs after all this craziness, you've maximized your holdings. So this time, our long terms have the most money they've ever had in them. So whatever comes out of this next couple of months and years, we're going to do it with a way higher invested amount. So that could be both good and bad, but generally, I think that's a very exciting thing. USSEC says they ordered F1 IPO filing filed by Diamond Water to be declared abandoned. We'll see. I'll show you now, but it might change by the end of the day. But look, our all-time high is 247.09. We now are at 246. Same thing again, even with the small one. I think it's $100 off of the all-time highs. That's crazy. So again, like I'm saying, we get to come in now to all of this near highs with more money invested than ever, and the dividends and the reinvestment. So yeah. Oh no. So small account, new all-time high. Yeah. So now the small account, the high was 27,722, but now your small account 27,800. So again, your down payment's back there. I do something with it. CoreWeave is ripping. I know. So call your long-term what you need to do. But other than that, I was going to tell you to call out the play, but I forgot. So yeah, call out the long-term. But CoreWeave was nice if you saw it coming or if you had the stream alerts. Josh, can I get the stream alerts? No, you cannot. They're all closed. You should have got them earlier. Now get a long-term. See, timing, order of operations. So now is not the time to FOMO. We go long-term and then get the good things as they arrive. Oh, I forgot to look at Cold Sister. She gets mad that it goes up. That's what I said. I don't know what to do. Uber is still going, yeah. Uber's up 3 now. Disable stream alerts. No, if you have them signed up, you're still getting them, but we closed the sign up for a little. Because like I said, I want people to focus a little bit more, and every time we hit a button, like today, I didn't even call out all the plays that I hit, but, you know, usually people just start rushing to buy stream alerts when I'm like, dude, like I was saying, Boeing, K-Web, if you stay locked in, you're ahead of it, you'll be fine, but there's a lot of FOMO and gambling, and I'm trying to encourage people to save money and get it long term. A small account to a crib. I'm going to do it, yeah. I'm going to keep the account, though. If I end up doing it, I'll use my other cash, but we'll imagine it. But I would sell out. I really want to. I said this the other day. 3% from 600. I know. I mean, we're still way off of the all-time highs. Remember, beginning of this year, but then again, though, this is like back to the first low candle of the year. So yeah, it is kind of crazy. You don't need stream alerts to see my holdings. The long term, check out the video in yesterday's, the video in the description, yesterday's watch list. So I explain it all, but you can follow along on YouTube, my Twitter, my Instagram. I'd go for like a Pepsi right now. It sucks because a lot of plays just jacked up today after the news, so you got to go accordingly, but there's still some good deals out there. But I would start with some good quality names. You save 10% of your money, hold for a minimum of 10 years, and then that's it. My Twitter is Real Colt News. It is on the screen. Oh, yeah, we do got 20 minutes, 23 minutes till Euro close, so we'll see what happens. I like Hershey's, but Hershey's came up a lot. You think people want me to trade for them? Yeah, I know, but it just gets hard. That's all it is that no matter what, I'm very fast, so it's easy to be behind me. And then if you don't even understand my strategy, and then if you only get in on the losing side, you're going to hate it. So like I'm saying, I'm trying to keep you guys safe. I mean, we do have a good winning strategy, and it works, but it doesn't work for everybody, especially if you're very driven by greed or driven by, all you see is short-term option gains, and you're again neglecting the long-term. My strategy usually hasn't profited people like that. But the ones who are willing to have the balance, and then you have a strict budget discipline, you kind of are used to the game. I think it's a good tool, but end of the day, long-term, again, we in the midst of all this craziness, we did not miss the bottom. We bought the dip. We have no FOMO, and we have an account now at all-time highs, multiple. So that should tell you something. That's a great thing to have. That is great fruit to walk away with in this type of environment. So how do you do that? It's a long-term. That's why you got to do it, baby. Woo! J&J and Guild. That's more of the, more of these medical plays. The hymns came, or not the hymns, the Pinduoduo. I sold those at $7 this morning. They came down to $3. But like I was saying, take profits on stuff in the AM. Other plays, I made it 2 bad plays today, but they're green, even though the stock went reverse, believe it or not. So IV is still a little odd. The shirt I wore on the watch list, my girlfriend got it for me. That's my like old guy beach shirt. I just wear, I got a tan this weekend, bro. So my girl had to go to a wedding, and I just chilled, bro. I love it. I don't know if I sound relaxed, but oh man. And then to wake up with a trade deal and all-time highs, and then a bunch of like 500,000 percenters. Oh, dude, I was vibing, bro. Vibing. But yeah, that was my beach shirt. I was chilling, bro. It was really hot this weekend. I loved it. I needed that, bro. I needed that sunlight. Shout out to Bowen. Yeah, Core Weave's still up. Even Abivi. Again, Abivi was red earlier. Got poured on. Oh, yeah. That's how my last weekend was, bro. Dude, I was fighting to get sun. And then it arrived. Blessed. The old free TTDs are green again if you guys want that money. I'm going to keep holding them. But, yeah. And the RTX, that was great. You booked a trip to Egypt? Whoa. That's crazy. It was your birthday this weekend? Nepal. Oh, no. No way. Happy birthday, big dog. How do you like the ons? I want some. My girl swears by them. But then she's biased. She's Switzerland. I got Fed Kugler comments on tariffs. Again, I don't think we're going to react too big there to any of the Fed people. And then Spy is chilling, man. Spy is chilling. You're trying to diversify. Well, here's the deal. Whatever you're trying to do, even with diversification, make sure you're not selling. Okay? That means you're going to be adding money to new stuff. So other than that, the only thing you posted there that I know and like is Pepsi. I know NVIDIA and SPY, but all of those are at all-time highs now, or near it. But I do like Pepsi. That's one I've been talking about a lot lately. And yeah, but diversification means you're going to buy other things, not selling. So just don't make that mistake. And again, yesterday's video, we have 43 months of Trump, you guys. And there's going to be time. And you see how quickly everybody could go from fear to, oh my gosh, I love this, right? But here's the deal. When it's all said and done, you have to have a plan. You need to stick with it. I hope you're not getting driven by the emotions, but actually stick with it. And really ask yourself what you want to hold. And that way you don't really, if there's names that are up right now, just look at this environment. We're going to have many months of this, and you already see crazy discounts. You have to really justify why you want the name that is the most expensive. Other than that, if you don't have a lot of cash, I would be very patient and let it fall in your lap. Again, I think pizza fell in our lap. I wanted pizza from the beginning of the year. It fell in our lap. Again, NVO at $57. I think it fell in our lap. And we're going to do that by not chasing these names. And although I like NVIDIA, believe me, and I like some of the names that are up, but they're just really expensive right now with everything going on, and they're still holding these things. Meanwhile, Pepsi is in the gutter, UPS, and all of that. So all we got to do is just wait, and as long as you have low cash, if you have a lot of cash, you should be already picking up what's in front of you right now. But other than that, I'd wait. And even if you want to diversify out, just if you really are on a 10-year plan, you guys, you have time to work through it. It's only been a couple of months. So that's why it's you could find what you like. And if it's not at a fair price, maybe wait and have an alternative and be okay if you don't get it. Is your portfolio still going to survive? That's all that really matters. EWJ, bro, it's going up again. Remember we were talking Japan during that little rally. Japan went up, took off. Core Weave's still up, and Uber. Pizza. Pizza is Papa John's. I talked about it at the beginning of the year for other reasons, even a short-term play. Then they had a buyout offer. Then they came back down, and it was yielding almost 6%. and we put it in the long term. I went small with it, and it was right after I said I didn't want to buy, and then I bought NVO, and then I bought this the next day. But it ended up it's 30%, bro. It's crazy. But it is this was one where it got really cheap, all these names. So if that ever happens again, I'll buy them. Other than that, though, now we wait. I have my name on I have my eyes on a lot of different names, but we're going to wait until they fall again or into our laps or something structurally changes, and then we can adjust. But for now, 10-year plan and everything else, it's working good. We are in the lead still. All we got to do is just make sure we don't blow it. That's it. That's why just think about that. And that's where you guys are going to be a little different. I'm operating from the lead, and my goal is to keep the lead. Do you remember me saying that this year? And again, even when we were ahead and we started coming down, I was telling you guys this. I was like, bro, look, we are ahead. We don't need to act like we're behind. You know, this is even a philo for life, bro. Because when you are ahead, stop moving. Like, don't get too complacent and don't think everything's going to be fine if you're in the lead. And then vice versa. Don't whiff that moment and stop moving as if you're hungry if you don't need to be. And if you could do that, I think you'll be great. I remember this. I showed you guys this. This was the chart that I showed you. Remember? The outperformance. This is us. We're the blue line. That's the rest of the world and everybody else. And that's why I was telling you guys around here. Remember, I was like, dude, we're in the lead. We don't want to give this up. So that's why we waited, and then we bought the very last moment. That helped preserve it. So that's why I'm saying, just from as we move forward, if you are in the lead and you got a portfolio that looks like mine, don't fuck it up by overpaying for dumb shit in a highly volatile environment. See what I'm saying? That's why buying the good names at good prices, when we go through this craziness, it's going to help us out a lot. So, yeah, man, that's all we got to do. All we got to do. Core weave, bro. So this is the IPO breakout. So look at the other previous high. But yeah, that's getting excited now. You didn't buy. I only went small with it. It only got us a little bit, but wherever that goes from here. But the timing and not blowing it and then waiting for a good thing, that was it. But also just hopefully you see it. It took deep discounts to get us to part with our money. So if you are in the lead, you don't have too much cash. Just make sure it's like a good deal. That's it. Make them incentivize it. You know, you want me to spend my money, you gotta give me something good. Other than that, we're gonna keep building, defend ourselves, get dividends, and like I'm saying here, you know, whatever happens, we're gonna keep growing our portfolio as we get into it. My email is tradingfraternity@gmail.com. I'm not going to check any emails, though, during the day, though. No, I don't want that one. All right. I just love the long term. The long term loves you too. We do sell covered calls on the long term. Spanish Ecom Cuerpo, still time for a fair trade agreement. Yeah, SPY might trade sideways, but do you guys remember that 58.45? I told you this level from last week. So you got to watch out. But then we haven't broken out. So in a weird way, after all this good news, the move today, nothing's really changed until we get past, at least from a momentum perspective. There's still good momentum. It's less choppy, but unless we get out of that zone, like I was telling you, above there, watch, you haven't even felt FOMO yet. But if we kind of like hit it and come back down, we might still be trapped in this 300 zone. So make no mistake, long term's doing good. I do think today was a lot better than expected. I think the whole weekend, that was way better than expected, but we're still not out of the woods, bro. That's why I'm saying just be cautious. Don't be dumb. Don't let all of this shit, like don't let it force you into, don't play the emotional pendulum game. We're actually gradually just kind of working into this scenario, but yeah, we're not out of the woods yet. No structural shift. It might be an exciting summer, but I still think there's so many ways you could get volatile in updates. So keep your head on a swivel, baby. FX, well, you could buy a fund. We were going to make an ETF, but for now, it's not, most ETFs are like near highs. I was going to do it on before Liberation Day. That was like the real moment. But other than that, I'm not against the ETFs. Just like I'm saying, just be careful for positioning too high. That's if I could, I think I've had an impact on the trading world and the stock market over my YouTube career. But one thing I really want to have an impact for, I want you guys to reject high prices. Please, I beg you. If I could help, and that way I'll know I'll have an impact. If I can make any of you smarter, this is going to help you a lot in life. Just to be able to say, that's way too much money. That was just going for 30% less. Why would I buy it right now? And you just got to be a little bit, obviously you don't want to be so price sensitive that you'd never invest, and that could be the worry. But I do think a lot of new guys and people who've been in the market for a couple of years, something that could really help you out is just if it's near the top of the chart, you probably don't want it, and you just definitely want to be more, hey, is this a historically a good deal? Am I getting something at a good price? Or you don't want to be in the minority paying one of the highest prices ever. So if there's not a good price, you sit on the cash. Hell yeah, that's what we've been doing. So that's why I'm saying this long-term journey, even this year, we were already doing very well. But even with everything coming down, I waited and I waited and I waited until they got really, really deep, and then we acted on it. But yeah, if there's not good prices, you wait. And that's why you build up your portfolio, take advantage of the good deals while they're there. If it's not a good deal, you wait. And then when it comes down, then you start doing it. It takes patience. It takes time. You may miss out on things, but it's going to help you. And it's going to make sure you're not overpaying and then getting clapped. The only bad part is that you're going to hear me say this and you're like, okay, I'm not going to buy this momentum stock. And then it's going to rip for the next 3 years, and then you're going to get really mad. That's the only way this fails, but I'm okay with that. You need to be okay with that as well, too. And if you're not, that's where most people get trapped into the FOMO. All right, you're getting a little bit of reds here, starting to pick up. Yo, airlines, UAL, Delta, airlines are dropping, and the whole Jets ETF. It's not too big, but UAL, Delta, low ticker, very picking up. 3 minutes, 3 big red candles. Nvidia and Apple still doing good. Again, CoreWeave is killing it. Oh, yeah, we do have Euro close. Euro close in 10 minutes. Because the NVO thing, it seems like they were talking about the drug companies and kind of helping them out, or the countries. They want to clap the countries, and they said, if you have the factories, no tariffs. That's why Eli Lilly went up. Hamas handed over Eden Alexander. They've been running the Euro close, yeah. And just watch out, because somebody even asked me about some of the other stuff. Just watch it that Euro fails. And if UK if EU becomes the new trade target, I would watch for that. I think that's actually kind of huge. All right, well, bonds coming down now. SPY kind of taking you back. Remember, we did go below 5,800 at one point today. So we did give up some of it, but generally the intraday move, not that large, and you've been around 3% most of the day on the NASDAQ. Where's oil? Oil came down, still green though. Again, airlines just dropped. MSTY and Tesla, not a fan of them. So again, for like long term, I would gamble on that shit, but long term, just avoid those little yield max things. Unless, because again, anytime you give up something or you try to get yield, you're gonna most likely risk equity. Top W. I do still think, even though things are better than expected and everything's good, I do still think we're in bear market rally. People are still debating that, and we'll see if things get structurally and fundamentally a lot better, but until then, we're just on day, 15, day 20 or something. So, yeah, welcome. At least in my opinion. Peloton, if you use it, you can, but I think you could do better than Peloton. My girlfriend has Peloton, but she don't even move, bro. She don't exercise. My first house last Friday, no longer a tenant. Love it, bro. Horna. Bro, I'm telling you. It sucks, though, because you guys, another wave of Chads are buying their houses. I got so many Chads tell me in the last week. They're like, I'm closing. I'm in escrow now. But I'm happy and disappointed in you guys. I'm happy because you guys are getting houses and it's a good step. I'm disappointed because, like I told you, when the market went down, because I was telling you guys at the beginning of the year, I was like, buy a house. I was like, look at your long term's at $27,000. And then a lot of you guys were like, hell yeah. But then right when the market went down, people were like, oh, I don't think I should get a house. I'm like, come on. And then now it's right back up. So yeah, that's it. I want you to get a house no matter what the situation is. It's going to be a good deal house. We're not going to FOMO and overpay. But that's why, no matter what it is, I need you to think about this and don't let your house goal be tied to the stock market. You know what I'm saying? And let the stock market help it, but don't be like, oh, I'll only shop if my long term is up or down. No, shop every day until that gem falls in our lap. So yeah, good work though, baby. I've been seeing a lot of y'all, and if you need it, cultrealestate@gmail.com or email me and I'll forward it to them. But we still got that plan there that we've been executing it. But I have the little home buyer's guide for some of you. So if you do want to work with your chat agent, we have a little bit of a system there. But email me. But then again, you need to shop every day, and you can't be dictated by that. And remember, you have the small long term is at all-time highs today. Can you ask about a play without getting banned? Sure, you could ask about it, but I'm not going to tell you my play. So if it's like somebody asked me a play idea the other day and I worked through it with them. They were asking me about shorting the bonds and how they want to go about it. If you have a question and I could add to it, I would love to. But if you just want to know what I played, I don't think that's really important. We got a bunch of real estate videos on the trading fraternity. For real, like a lot of real estate videos. You got laid off from Goldman. I like Goldman listens. I don't know, but that sucks. But shout out Goldman. I actually kind of like them. Send a house. Get more like active on the deal and then come to me. So talk to the homeowners and see. But if you just have an idea, don't pursue the idea and then get a response and then talk to me. K-Web would not be a good long term. I mean, we talked about it at another time in the beginning, but I don't think I'd buy it now. You could have considered it, but I don't think now is a good time for K-Web. Any of the China plays. Affirm, I don't like Affirm. They have done good. All these buy now, pay laters and the trend is good, but I think Affirm is at a high price, and the model doesn't jive well with my culture. My parents, they said, buy cash, Habibi. Never. No, cash only. So I never understood Affirm, bro. I used to put shit on layaway. So I never understood this buy now, pay later. What do you mean I get it now and pay later? So yeah, but the stock's at a high price. I think if you got it lower, you're good. But other than that, I don't think that's an industry I would be chasing. You didn't know what they do? No way. Oh, I thought everybody knows a firm. Novo's good. Yeah, but here's the deal, you guys. So I just got asked, like Baba, I'm up 80%. NVO, my last purchase, I'm up 15%. So I like these names, but one thing we've been talking about for the last, and ask anybody in the chat, I would argue this rule has saved 50% of people's long terms. I'd say if you followed this rule as a Chad responsibly, you saved 50% or made 50% by simply not buying what I am up on. So if you buy it when I get it and I put you onto it and you act on it, at the same moment, you're going to do whatever I do. But the people who buy the plays I'm up on, they get smoked every time. Or you have to wait till we get green on it for you to go back to green. So literally, like NVO or even Baba, there's people barely green on Baba or barely up on Baba because they bought it after we were up 50%. And they thought that was a good deal. So don't do that. That's it. Just don't buy what I'm up on. If you wait till I'm down on it, you're going to make way. Ask anybody who has bought in a long term that I own, and then they waited till I dropped on it. I bet you they have a bulletproof ass position on that stock. You know, it's been a very effective rule lately, is that if you wait until I'm down, you're probably going to make way more money. If you buy it when I'm up, you're probably going to lose. So make your decision. But so Baba, NVO, Pizza, sadly, we just bought some of these, but they're all up a substantial amount. I wouldn't really go for them. So if I'm down on it, go look at the long term. I have the video yesterday. We even have the other long term, but you know, the pictures, but that's it. That's all you got to do. Can I give you down alerts? I could, yeah. They're all already on there, but we could do that. We could go over everything I'm down on, and we could talk about them. But like I'm saying, if you just go pull up the picture, you could literally see and go compare it. Obviously, things move around. But yeah. But that's all. It just being, that's why I'm saying you guys got to get locked in, man. Because we're good. Even then, stream alerts, it doesn't matter if you're not like paying attention. You know, it's just like 2 weeks ago, that was the moment to buy, and we did it. And then it's 2 weeks later, everybody wants to buy for more. We don't want that. So it's just simple. If I'm up on it, don't buy it. Don't touch it. If we're down on it, now we're in play. And that's something I think that's just going to help you. It's going to save you. And then you could use me. I'll take the first step, and you could look around. If it's up, don't touch it. If it's down, you know I like it. I'm going to hold it for 10 years, and now you're at least not overpaying rather than, I'd rather you underpay than overpay. Thank you for the inspiration. Delegating 45 my business to the long term. Laker J. Oh, I love it, man. It's a good decision. Just remember, though, long term, that money can't come out. So if you are adding more money from your business to the long term, remember, 10 years minimum. Like we even talked about on Friday, the way this strategy works, you will not lose money in the stock market that you don't need. Because if you have to sell out and you need the money, that's a way that you could lose. Because then you're going to have to sell out for whatever it is. You see what I'm saying? But other than that, as long make sure it's just money you're not going to touch or have a necessity for. The more you could allocate there, the better. But as long as you don't need it, that's it. It's going to work. So that's all. That's the only risk is like if you start adding more to your long term, just make sure you guys are still operating under the idea this money's not coming out for 10 years. Because then that's how you protect it. Because if you put in way more money now and then you have to leave for whatever reason, that's where you could get clapped. So as long as it's just money I'm not going to touch, that is how it's going to guaranteed grow or top up and to the right is the idea. All right. And then I need to go to the bathroom. So follow me on Instagram at the Trading Fraternity. God bless Chadadonia and the Vets. Real Cult News on Twitter. And I'll be right back. Yeah, I did see Disney moving up there. And again, NVO's green now, which is crazy. And then SPY just holding, even though we have a lot of moves. But our BRB.
Safety.
Caroline, it's about, my critique is about the culture that he's establishing at Tesla, right? So what we know about safety cultures in every company that has ever decided to make safety its number one priority is they de-emphasize hierarchy and they make it safe to dissent. But safety, physical safety for your customers and for your employees comes from psychological safety, from your employees being willing to say, hey, we're making a mistake, we need to stop this. And if there's anything that you can see about the way Musk runs everything, not just Tesla, it's he's incredibly intolerant of dissent, of people beneath him saying, hey, I don't think this is right. We've seen a multitude of lawsuits against Tesla from employees saying that they've been retaliated against for raising safety concerns. When you have that kind of a culture, being a safe company becomes almost impossible.
And you sort of take echoes from the past with Boeing, for example, and the issues that company has faced in a similar time of going for growth over potentially safety calls and a clearer chain of command.
That's right. Boeing used to be the safest of all airline companies because they had this culture, one that was dominated by engineers, where when people thought there was a safety concern, everything else would go by the wayside until it was fixed, and where you had complete freedom as an employee at Boeing to go to anyone at Boeing and say, no, like, we have a problem, and this is a really, really important. When Boeing abandoned that culture in order to pursue short-term shareholder returns, we found out that they got there were short-term returns for a little while, although not recently, of course. But much worse than that, the safety reputation of Boeing that had been cultivated for almost a century was thrown away because their airplanes started crashing, which they had never done in the same way.
And there's not mutually exclusive outcomes here. Just because you're putting safety first doesn't mean you need to hold back innovation. And you highlight, well, a couple of key executives in the past, particularly in the mining field, that really went for security and actually benefited them.
So the most famous example of this in the United States is Paul O'Neill at Alcoa, who said, we are going to make this the safest company in the world. And when he first announced this, when he became CEO, one of his investors went and sort of said, they've appointed a hippie to run the company and he's going to destroy it. And in fact, while he was CEO, the value of the company went up by a factor of 9. Because what O'Neill realized is there is no such thing as a well-run, unsafe factory. Similarly, Cynthia Carroll at Anglo-American, when she transformed safety in Anglo-American, said there is no such thing as a well-run, unsafe mine. So no, these are absolutely not intentions. Psychological safety helps you on safety issues at the company as a whole. They also help you on innovation. It is the single determinant factor, more important than any other, in determining the success of a team is how psychologically safe the people on it feel. When you take away everything.
It's interesting, Gautam, though, you reference a lot about the push into the robo-taxi space in particular, that this is the moment that Elon Musk needs to be focused on safety above all else. But actually, he's been outrun by local competition, Waymo already on the streets performing. You've got China, in particular, showing growth when it comes to robo-taxis and autonomous vehicles. So he's not really sort of running ahead of himself in terms of pushing for innovation ahead of safety, or do you feel that there has been moments where that's occurred?
So, I mean, there certainly have been moments. So, before robo-taxis, Teslas are incredibly safe cars if you are in a crash. But the ideally safe car is one that never gets in a crash in the first place, and Teslas do not do nearly as well. In fact, autopilot, for example, does not seem to make you safer when you're driving the car. It may actually make you a little less safe because it decreases driver attention. So we were already starting to see concerns about that with Tesla. But going forward, I mean, Tesla is not the leader in automated driving. Waymo is. We all know this. They are vastly ahead technologically. But Tesla's promises of what they're saying they will offer, if they want to offer anything like that successfully, they have to be at least as safe as Waymo, and they probably need to be better. And that will be very, very difficult to do if they don't have a culture where people, every single person at Tesla, feels safe to say, Elon Musk, we are not a safe company.
Gautam, do you have the confidence that the culture will allow for that? Because thus far, the corporate governance is saying we are sticking by Elon and Elon only. We're not even assessing whether anyone could ever indeed replace him if needed.
I don't at all. I would never underestimate Elon Musk to work, miracles or what seem like miracles. But there is a track record of CEOs who have transformed the culture of their companies in ways like this. O'Neill is one example. Alan Mulally would be another. And the thing you'd say about them is they really don't operate anything like Elon Musk. They emphasize that the team is more important than themselves. They emphasize that hierarchy is the death of success in an organization. This is not the way Musk has operated anywhere he has been, certainly in the last 10 years. You could have, you could make a real question about whether early Elon operated like that, but the one we see today just does not.
Gautam Mukunda, thank you so much for joining us from Bloomberg Opinion. We appreciate it. Now, some breaking news from a geopolitical perspective. In the last few minutes, we are reporting the headline that Hamas indeed has
a
released
different headline.
Israeli-American
Spy just got a little red, though.
Alexander.
Euro closed,
It was
though.
a hastily announced
10 minutes
move, of
ago.
course, ahead of US President Donald Trump's visit to the Middle East. Now, hours earlier, we did know, of course, that Israel is planning on sending its negotiating team to Qatar on Tuesday as part of the latest efforts to secure the release of the remaining hostages.
You got a couple of reds here. I don't see anything. And again, we've just been doing this little dance near these lows. It sucks because you want to break down, but then it looks like but nothing's happened. House Tax Committee proposes to end EV tax credit by end of the year. Okay, HIMSS is coming down now. Again, the biotech stuff, it's all it's literally all mixed because now NVO and Eli Lilly are green, even though they kind of got some more special attention, and then some of the other ones are going down. GRFS, Grifols. I swear I just saw something on that. She said something about Hamas and Israel. Oh, it was the releasing of the one guy. They released the Alexander guy, I believe. Chips are selling. Again, we just had Euro close. We had that little sell-off prior, bounced up into it, and then now we are lower. Again, GRFS, big pop. I don't know if it's halted. There's NVO. YNHD, where's Bobo? Boeing, Baba. It's funny because China, that's the big deal, but they just held their gains. And that's been happening the last couple of weeks. China just doesn't, it's not selling on the rumor or on the news. It gets bid up and then it just holds. But yeah, we are coming down a little bit. Bonds got a bid. You're still up 3.5, 3.4 on the NASDAQ, 2.4 on the SPY, 2.1 on the Dow, and then 2.7 on the Russell. Going, back. Oh, Novo. We agree that Americans need access to medicines at better prices and will continue to engage with policymakers to develop and implement more effective solutions. Reuters, but NVO is putting out a statement, or Ritzau? Not Reuters, Ritzau at someplace. But yeah, Novo has a headline coming out now. Sounds like they're down to work with the admin. CBRL. Dust. Where's gold? So again, you're having these little moves. It just sucks because we're flirting with the low, that 58. But remember, we moved up a lot today. And within the day, you haven't moved more than 2-3 points. Zep, run. There's NVO now getting volume on the headline. Okay, yallah, habibi, yallah. And him's near the low. Run. That's Sunrun? Yeah, Sunrun's on the high. They're actually really running 30 cents. What was the other one? GRFS. That was the small cap. Popped and came down. But yeah, Sunrun on the high. And then Thermo Fisher, they're up 4 or 5. Pemex, something on oil. All right. Not too bad. 5802. Oil is up 2%, but it is near the low. Again, gold on all that. Gold came up, but still down 3 and still above 3,200. My goodness. Shout out the watch list. And yeah, and I hope you guys get it. I mean, I think we have a lot in store and the market's still dealing with it, but think about it, You literally have more. This was way better than expected from last Friday. So hence, even though we're dancing around, I think this is why we're holding this. 10B on the high. And then Carvana, Josh Brown, CNBC, Tenable. Now, yeah, Tenable pop. That looks like he's probably pumping it too. Let's see. Downtown, Josh. Tell us about NVO, Josh Brown. Come on. Oh, never mind. He just ended it. All right. No, they discussed it a little bit, but yes, this is all the trade deal. There was like bad news with the pharma stuff, and we had those details. Market went down a little bit. Trump did talk about it. They haven't put the deal on paper, so that's the only thing. Other than that, it is confirmed, and it's very positive considering. I don't think anybody expected it, to be honest. I don't think one person was expecting a real trade pause and a big reduction. Because, again, we were even talking 50 to Donald Trump even said 80%. And after this weekend, it's now down to 30 and 10. And then with a pause, and now the ships are moving. So it's funny because that means everybody front ran for tariffs. And even though there is a tariff increase, now there's a pause. So these ships are going to start moving more. And it's literally not even, it's like 80%, 90% lower than what we thought it was a month ago. Some random China plays are moving too. Small cap China. Okay, there's NVO now. NVO, just go back to $75. Hello. I hit 70. That's interesting. A lot of them did this. Abivi was down, but a lot of these names that were like deep red off of the biotech, they're going green now. Again, Abivi, Eli Lilly, all of them. Or who was the other one? NVS, AstraZeneca. They just barely went green. Toast on the high. That's a post earnings. SPY still holding after those little drops. Again, unfortunately, big news, and we're like, and it feels all this, but like, look, the market moves are very, very minor, and you're just doing this dance around to go nowhere. If it does get overwhelming, just look at your long term, and that will take care of you. Oh yeah, wait a minute. Didn't he say buy stocks on the Thursday or Friday too? Maybe. I guess maybe they thought it'd be more than 3% on a China deal. But yeah, I forgot about that. The president did say buy stocks. Colt Real Estate loves you. We love you too, Jake, for State Farm. How you living, baby? Good morning. Happy Monday. Walmart on China reaching deal to slash tariffs. We are encouraged by the progress made over the weekend. That's coming out now. Wally World. Core Weave. Toast is still going. Yep, a couple more prints on the high ticker. SPY staying chill. I think we're right at 5,800, no? This might be 58 exactly. 5802, bro. Just staying pinned. Alive for another day. No complaints. Amen, man. Finger to the sky. Woo. Walmart delayed. They kind of had a little move prior. They moved a little big and then they did nothing. But remember, they have earnings this week. So that'll be good. Shift 4 payments. They're on the high. Again, Affirm, Sezzle, and then 4. They're all moving. I think Sezzle and Affirm are more buy now, pay later. You're going to buy MPW. Well, make sure you watch all the videos and stay up to date, okay? Because a lot of people ask me these questions, and I feel like you're getting FOMO to buy immediately. So there's more to the long term than just that. So I would study a little bit more before making a decision if that's what you came to. If MPW is the first thing, I think you're missing on a lot of videos still. So I'd wait. But that's up to you. It's your choice, not a recommendation. JD. That one was crazy. JD's didn't move at all. I like UPS. It's up, I think. I want to say UPS is up 10% from the low. So I'd follow along. But right now, it's just very difficult right now. That's it. Is that some of you guys, I don't know if this is the time to buy. Unfortunately, the time was 2 weeks ago. Do you see what I'm saying? So anything you want to buy has a 10% premium right now. Almost everything. Minimum. So you just, unfortunately, there is a little bit of FOMO, and that's what we were saying. Above 5,800, 5,840, people will get crazier. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, Pepsi, I think they move like 3%. But just be mindful, if it's already up there, then yeah, weren't we waiting for 100% pivot? That was for you to get out of this danger zone. So, come on, man. I know you're paying attention, but isn't this why I banned you last time? You kind of like, I don't know if you're being serious or if you're not getting it, but you kind of imply like very aggressive stuff. So we weren't again, we bought 2 weeks ago. I did tell you guys 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I told you I'm uncertain, right? But we still bought during it. So I don't think anything has changed from where we were at prior, but you do got to ask yourself why you didn't buy then. And if you want to buy now, I would be cautious of the stuff that is up 10% right now. Does that make sense? So just be cautious on that. But it just like now I am watching people want to buy. They want to buy anything now because everybody feels good and everybody is getting the FOMO. So you shouldn't be ashamed, but just don't buy anything for more money. I'm just trying to save you guys. I don't care if you missed it or not. That was very hard. I could see how people missed it. People were just very bearish, but just be cautious if you're like, okay, yeah, I want to add to my long term and hold for 10 years now. Again, that's a big decision. But then if you're paying a little bit more, just ask yourself why and try to get the names that have not moved up dramatically off of that low. How it went from super FOMO. It was crazy, but I mean, you had a faceless guy in your ear telling you it's all dramatic. Long term, that's it. We just had to ride the storm. We let the bullets fly. We got in at the last moment, but that's why I'm saying you'll know the big shift when it happens. That's why I don't appreciate people muddying the waters trying to make that assumption when clearly they know it hasn't happened, and I've already answered it several times. So you'll know when that big shift happens, but in the meantime, you just have to stay alive, weather the storm, and don't get overly happy and excited, and don't get overly sad and pessimistic. That's just most things haven't changed, and that's why we're just following a slow process with a lot of noise. Pepsi right now, I think, again, Pepsi every day it's actually still the same price. See, that one's at the bottom still. That's why I like it. But even UPS I like, and it's below. But like, again, UPS, you're paying 10% more in the last 3 days. And we were talking about it at the low. And this is what I don't like. Otherwise, I would have bought Nike already. That's why I like Nike, but it's the same thing. It's already up 10% from the bottom, 15. So it's like that. If we get more volatility, yeah, maybe it is the bottom, maybe it's not. But otherwise, if we already have positioning, we'll come back. But I don't want to buy. I don't want to pay 10% more, then we have to deal with it again unless I'm like fully convinced. Otherwise, or if I have a lot of cash. Otherwise, I don't have a lot of cash. So I need to wait. We'll let them come and just move around, and you don't have to force it. But if you're buying things that were just dramatically cheaper, you gotta look. You gotta look and really justify it. Otherwise, wait. Well, my timeline is that 44 days from wherever we bottomed out the last time, or everyone, again, it's still been, I think it's been 15 days. So we got like another month, and then maybe things will change. We'll see what Powell does, policy, hard data, soft data. There's still so much in store. That's why it's like, yeah, maybe this is the bottom and we go up a lot, and then we could readjust and see what's still down. Otherwise, I still think this is the same scenario that let us down here. I felt the same way at the highs and the lows. Again, I thought everyone was being dramatic. We sold off way more. Now we're coming back up. Everyone thinks they missed the bottom. I don't think so. I think we're just in the weird middle of a lot of emotions and a lot of noises, but the economy and other policy hasn't really moved too wildly. Perplexity raising value, 14 billion valuation. Zelensky hopes Russians will not evade meeting in Turkey. Apple's still up. Covered calls. I got a video on it. Just make sure you're getting back more than 20% of your what you paid for the stock. Win-win only. Target went up a lot today, but they got a downgrade. But yeah, they're still near the low, but still $6. It's like 7% off the lows. Well, I agree that there'll be more opportunity. I wouldn't link it just to China. So that's kind of we have by day 365, by the next like 6-7 months, this market will look either a lot better or a lot worse. And then we have 43 more months of Trump, you guys. So that's why I'm saying I would start thinking ahead. Have enough cash to take advantage, and when volatility shows your way and people panic, take advantage of it. And then you have to go back to waiting and then having the cash and planning and preparing for it. Ta-da! And there you go, my friends. So, but yeah, I think a lot of opportunity. The thing is timing, just like 2020 to 2024. Timing, the inflation, and moving in these bursts. That's what you got to do. And hopefully this is why I feel very prepared, and I feel like we've got to go through it. That's why I'm trying to help you guys not get chopped and lose your money. Do you see what I'm saying? Because if you can make it these next 4 years and you could avoid the little buy 30% higher to get washed, and you could avoid all of these things again, this time around, we waited till the last minute, and then you got to buy. You didn't have to buy and go down and wait and go down and wait. No, now you're really in the lead. So this is where it's like in the next 4 years, if you can minimize the opportunities to lose money and where you will waste time and get clapped, if you can minimize those and then hit the big changes in prices, oh, dude, you're going to love it. So that's all we got to do, and just think ahead, and we'll go in bursts and moment by moment, but you got to be ready for it. And you could be ready for it by planning now. Savings, what you're buying, being patient, and letting your portfolio speak to you. How's the long term, Tim? Is your long term good after your first big drop? I remember that. I said it. I can't wait to come back to it. INHD, this thing's running all day. Oh, Gen Z stacker. The young guy saving. Horna. Oh, let's go, baby. Thank you to the memberships, my friends. I'll see you guys at Philo. Roblo. Yeah, pizza was great. Pizza was up even more today, but that one's like 30-something off of the purchase. But that was a good one. Our only regret is we didn't buy more. But again, we're going to have another round. You picked up 100 shares of Pepsi. Let's go, baby. That's all we got to do is just don't get too excited, don't get too sad, and then let's be patient, stick to our plan, and God willing, bro, I think we're going to just run into a lot of opportunities when they're there. When they're there, they're there. When they're not, they're not, and we'll just keep vibing, baby. Oh, customs! Another 10. What? Oh, yave. What up, baby? XHG on the high. Up 21%. Like, remember I was telling you small cap China was moving? I was noticing small cap China. I think this is another one. That's all you if you want it. But, oh, no, let's go. Whew. Hey, man. And, bro, if you got a gifted membership, bro, you know, if you think there's a paywall, you got a lot of generous chads that are giving you guys a shot. So please make the most of it because I'm still the same. They're generous. I'll ban you, though. So follow the rules and let's make the most of it, baby. But, yeah, that's a lot of you are going to get your shot at Philo today. Woo! No one's talking about the 10-year yet, but they will. We're back in the danger zone, 3 days away. But anything below here, we'll start talking about it. And then you got Powell, too. Oh, legal. And, bro, I saw the video. I love it. I love it. I think you might inspire a lot of chads. That was it's kind of crazy, bro. It's very culty. Very, very culty. I like it. Oh, corn stocks. Whoa, check corn. Corn at 1.8 million. Estimate was 2 million. Wheat was 923. Estimate was 855. And then cotton 5.2 million. Estimate was 5. Corn, yeah, there it is. Look, corn popped up 1. I was like, dude, I'm surprised it didn't move off that. That was a very, very big decline in corn stock. If you're into that. In the video, I'm holding my free contract still. But yeah, I remember in the video last week. And then, dude, I might double dip, actually. Oh, wait, I don't want to get too greedy, but I have free contracts. But yeah, dude, I forgot. They went up on the chip thing, and then Trump is going to Saudi today. How many times have I told you guys? Saudi and chips. That's going to be another headline. I'm just guessing. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure my brain tells me Saudi and chips go hand in hand. Yeah, he's going, this week. I think Thursday is when he arrives. But I do think NVIDIA and Saudi are going to generate one headline in the next week or two. So maybe that's the only issue. Is that headline may come in later. So if you're trying to play a weekly, I mean, you're on your own. But I have weeklies because I bought them last week and I made them free. Oh, they have earnings on the 28th? Intel already popped. I sold out of my Intels 200% this morning. I'm glad I did. They're still holding, though. The stock. We'll go both. If you could keep the weeklies, I'd make them free when they move, and then on the next dip and whenever you make a weekly free, just add another one with more time. That's what I do. So like I'll start if I want to change the times, and then I'll be in the other one, then I'll flip out the other one, but then I'll start scooping the other time frame. So you got time. You can maneuver it, but just keep that in mind, and then premium's already jacked today. So that's it. Oh, Este. Yo, what's up with all these memberships, baby? Oh, wait, what? Dude, you gifted a membership and then you received it yourself. I've never seen that. He gifted himself a membership. Did we hit a limit? What the hell? Do you see that? Yeah, so because you guys got to turn your gifts on. Yeah, look. Yeah, oh, what up? Give me money. Give me money? He gave me money. Yeah, but you, Este, you gifted yourself, bro. Oh, yeah, you're a member now. Welcome. Welcome. Now you get a shot for yourself. He's like, what? I didn't want to. He said I wanted to get. I've never seen that. Oh, well, welcome, CL. You've already been in here, baby. Marketing bet. I didn't even ask for memberships today. That's it. We just got long-term. But listen, I'm not going to lie to y'all. Okay? And God is good, man. Finger to this este. There it is. You got one for Christian. Hand yourself. But no, can I say something? Can I talk my shit a little bit, you guys? Can I, please? And I mean it humbly. I don't even take credit. I take credit to Jesus, man. Finger to the sky. May he get the glory, bro, through all of it. I'm so happy just to be here, bro. For real. Because I'm dude. I'm not like, dude, are you kidding me? Bro, come on. The long term. And you know what I was thinking about this, and I'm leaving today, bro. I am very grateful for this. And this is exactly why I'm here. You know why? Because this long term is proof and evidence. And I know for a fact we have thousands of people in this environment in one of the most uncertain times in the world. We have thousands of people doing better and outperforming and staying safe and protected no matter what is going on in the world. That is a blessing, bro. So I'm very glad, and I hope that's why I'm saying some of you may not be on board. You may be kind of starting late, and we'll figure it out. I'll help you, man. But I already know there's thousands of people that we have already helped them escape the snare of Wall Street, and there is thousands of people now that are, look at this, to walk away with all-time highs in an uncertain moment like this and all. That's amazing, bro. Again, that's people that they can't. Wall Street ain't pillaging you. Wall Street's not getting paid off of that every time you guys are like, oh, I trade less now and now I do this. And like, think about that, bro. But to walk in this right here, right now, and there's people who missed out, people who sold and fake, and you're telling me thousands of people, we have kept them safe. This is exactly why I want to be here. This is what I am here for. And that's what we want more of. And that's why I'm saying it's just like, dude, that's crazy. Like literally, we're a couple $100 off all-time highs. Another account hitting a new all-time high today. So for people to be able to say they could walk away like that, that's amazing. And we still got more to do. You know what I'm saying? So it'll be even better. The 3 years even crazier. I'm being humble about it. So I'm just showing the year to date. But yeah, remember when we moved all these accounts, dude, was this account at 2023 was at $100,000, I believe, or like less than 120. So yeah, man. But at the end of the day, I feel glad that we are somewhat safe right now. It's not going to stay like that forever. Things could change, and we got to work hard. But dude, to know that there's thousands of people that are walking away protected right now, that God is good, bro. That I'm glad I could be there for that purpose. So I'm very grateful, and I hope you guys get more of that. And like I said, let's not lose money. Let's stay safe, and I truly hope thousands more can walk away with good assets, better financial situation, and hopefully a home. So let's get it, baby. But this is great in this environment because this isn't easy. And that's what I'm saying. I hope I made it easy for you, and I hope some of you got to walk away with something good, and God willing, we do more of it. Yallah. Dust. All right, SPY's still there, gold moving around, Intel, NVIDIA going. NVO climbing now after all the bad news. I can't type hymns, they're still down. Who's the other one? Eli Lilly. Oh, CVS too. CVS still dying off of that. Well, it's all little by little. That's why too, and even if you feel behind, you guys got to get patient. Even with the market moving fast, you guys got to start learning how to move slow. And I got your back. We'll be here for you. But I'm just saying, though, like, even today's discussion, you know, people just want to buy shit. And at the end of it, they're like, okay, I'm going to buy this. No, like, chill, bro. Because remember, this is the long term. So this is the one at a new all-time high today. $27,000. Again, we started this account with $500, put $200 a month, raised it to $300 a month. And now it's still at $300 a month. But this is what I want you to see. I would buy 1 share. Right? Then we wait a month, buy 2 shares. Wait a month, buy 0.01. Wait a month, buy 1 share. Wait 2 months, buy 1 share. 20 shares of Snap. Oh. 5 shares of AbiVi when it was at $70. Do you see what I'm saying? Little by little, bro. This is how I built this entire account. That's why I'm saying people get too much FOMO and they're missing it. It's not one thing. It's little by little every single day. I've legitimately been here every day doing this, and we will continue to, God willing. But you have to see, it's all small. Even pizza, 5 shares, NVO, 6 shares, 4 shares, NVO. That took a year. 10 shares, 4 shares, but 1 share, Humana, 3 shares, Whirlpool, just little by little. It's one, and then again, you wait a month to buy one thing, 1 share, 1 share. You don't need a lot. It's all little by little, and it adds up. That's what we're trying to do here. That's how I could tell so many of you, hey, even the small amount. That's why I'm saying, bro, lately, if you haven't, you could tell where I am confident in many things. And like I'm saying, we just help thousands of people escape a bear market and at all-time highs. Why do you think I'm so confident in this shit? So you see what I'm saying? Like, and then finger to the sky, baby. But this is where it's like, dude, little by little, and I could confidently tell you this. It's not one decision. It's not, well, we made one good pickup. It's little by little, a small amount, and confidently, you don't have to have a lot of money. We could get you a lot of money because if you just go little by little, month after month, week after week, it's all you got to do. It is. You don't see, it seems super slow, and then before you know it, you're like, how the heck did I get this much money? That's literally the story. Again, this long term, bro, tiny. Again, it was at 13,000 at the end of 2023. Again, even the beginning of this year, it was at like 23, 24. So again, you've gotten way more on the year to date, but it's small. This is that same account I was just showing you where I'm like, dude, one share, wait a month, wait another 2 months, buy 2 shares, buy 1 share, then wait another, buy 1 share. That's it. This is all off 1, 2, I think the most I've ever bought, 10 shares maybe on, because again, it's a small account. It still is small in the deposits, but now you're like, dude, this isn't small. It's just 30 grand almost. It's a fucking down payment. But it is by 1 purchase. So for all you new guys out there and hearing, like, you don't need to go rush in. It's how you're going to copy this and get you an account. It's going to be through little by little. We're not doing just one. Do we make great pickups at perfect times? We have. But those help. But it's just one after the next, little by little. If you could do that saving, I'm going to put you on a good path. And I wouldn't doubt that. But if you can't save, and if you think you got to put all your money in at once, and then, no, that's going to be emotions. It's just, this is something we're going to do for our whole lives, God willing, and let it build up and grow. Bro, Thermo Fisher again, Uber. Yeah, sorry, a little long-term rant. So, yeah, man, let's go. No, my Twitch wouldn't load this morning. It wouldn't let me log in with my 2-factor. It wouldn't send me the text. And then anytime I would try to, like, keep doing it, it would crash my computer and my OBS. So, yeah, I'll try to get it up by tomorrow, but just technical difficulties for today. No changes, just technical issues. The long term. What a good guy. A long-term video? Yeah, I made one the other day, and I made a couple this year on the trading fraternity, but if you're looking for a deeper one, let me know what you need, and then maybe we could make another one down the line. But the original video still applies, and I've been giving some other updates. Small, good decisions, baby. Zelensky hopes Russians will not evade. We saw that already. If you stay on the wrong train direction, it costs more to go home. I love that feeling. Amen. So let's go, baby. I do. I see that. I love that one. It's true, man. That's why I get on the right train. Long term, saving your money, bro. Like, think of none of these are bad things. Do you realize that? And you may think I'm a weirdo. You may not like my politics. You may think the whole don't show your face thing is weird, right? But just hear me. I'm telling you, save your money. Save 10%. Pay yourself first. Put it into high quality assets. No hype, no bullshit. And then don't do it all at once, little by little. How is this unreasonable? You see what I'm saying? This is a very, very reasonable plan. So I do hope you all do it and save. And let's get it. The divvies, yeah, it's crazy. Even the big account, I don't know if you guys realize, the big account is producing every year the small account now in dividends. It pays us $6,000, which creates another $600 a year. That's how much we receive on the small account. That's insane. So now the big account drip is pretty much creating a small dividend account every year. We get a brand new set. That's insane too. So yeah, man, all of it, but little by little. It doesn't just happen. It's a couple of years of eating shit, going slow, feeling like nothing, and then after the first round, then you'll be like, oh shit, this adds up, and then you get to the next level. But different phases or various phases. Yeah, Nvidia is still up. SPY there. Bonds coming down. I think bonds coming down is actually bullish until it's not, but in the scope of today, it has been. Oh, who's the ARM on the high? ARM is really going, actually. You're amid the eating shit part? No, bro, you're at another one, though. You got a house. So don't, you're going to have to work your way up after getting it, but, oh, dude, that's amazing. You're in a good spot. These contracts are crazy. Why didn't it film me? NVO, Uther. I did, Pete. Bro, I loved it. You have no idea. Let me know when I could show the chads. But it's kind of scary. I'm telling you, bro. It's a very culty idea. I loved it, though. I watched it last night, man. I appreciate it. No, bro, it's a trip. Like, it's a trip. Because I remember you telling me the idea, and then the mask. It looks. I feel like we might even get put on another watch list if we get more of those. It's wild, bro. I love it. All right, we'll show. Maybe we'll show them on Friday. We'll show them on Friday or middle of the week when we slow down. You're in San Diego. What's the best food to try out here? Where are you at right now? Are you in downtown? What part of San Diego are you in? San Diego's huge. And then what's your favorite type of food? That's another one too. Bows on the high. SPY getting a little bit of a little jerky on the candles. Back and forth. You're a San Diegan? Yeah, man. Born and raised. I was in San Diego before it was cool. OPEC to add 410,000 barrels a day. Goldman. You're in Torrey Pines area, so you're near La Jolla. What is good in La Jolla? I don't know if it's open yet. Go to the Whaling Bar. I actually love the Whaling Bar. If you could get there, it's a little expensive, but if you could get the Whaling Bar, like it might be after the close. Oh, dude, it's fire. They even have, it's like a $10 burger. That's probably one of the best burgers I've ever had. But then they got some nice shit. But Whaling Bar in La Jolla, that's a good one. That Crack Shack in downtown, if you want like a crazy chicken spot. I'm a big fan of Crack Shack as well. What is BA? Is this another, bro? This is another China. Dude, all these small cap Chinas are going. Duo, Bows, all these little ones. So be careful, but if we do start to get that hype. I forgot we have free Boeings. Yeah, scalping them's a good idea, but I'd say see if they end up running. So if we really start in the next week, if all this China stuff gets even better, those shitty China plays are going to start running. Or if like overseas, if China and they start getting hyped and start gambling again, you might start watching those. Because that was part of the beginning of the year. Remember, we got free China plays off of that. I have 2 of them for free. Saying it is good, man. It is good. What else? There's a lot of other places, but I definitely in the area. I'd try that. If you want a nice, Born and Raised is a very nice restaurant downtown. Oh, there's another one, actually. I haven't been yet. I was going to go. We didn't have time. I heard really good things about this. Choi's. There's a place in Korea. There's Korean food in downtown right next to Petco Park called Choi's. I've seen it. I've never ate there. It looks really good, and a friend of mine told me about it. So, yeah, that's another one. Okay, Spice working up. And then Merck is up there, bro. NVO, all these biotechs are going now. Again, Hims is in the low. They're not really a biotech. MRK still going. Keep the recommendations coming. You need some more, bro? You've been in San Diego. For the awesome K-Web call. Hey, man, you got to take profits on some of these, though. We've had a very good place today. Very good. We woke up to good ones. Even some of the morning pickups, they're all there. I just took some more profits, so make sure you guys are smart with it. And, yeah, let it ride. And then we still got our NVIDIA's climbing, though. My free NVIDIAs are starting to move. Roblos. You guys, there's another good restaurant, too. Actually, you guys got to go here. This is a great, honestly, I think all of you should get it today. This is nationwide, one of the best restaurants. Okay? Do I genuinely believe this? No, I'm just pumping. It's called Papa John's. So I thought I'd throw that out there as a owner of about $1,500 in equities. You guys keep asking me about food. Don't forget, Papa John's, you could get it anywhere. I don't know if you've heard of the shakaroni, but, oh, man, I've heard great things about. You like garlic? Oh, yeah. It's just like normal pizza without all the shenanigans. You don't need all that pretentiousness of Domino's, you know? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, pizza, different company. But Papa John's, yeah, since we're talking about food, I thought I'd throw that in there. All right, SPY starting to break out. Remember, all day has been good news. A couple of cold water spots here and there, but generally you're 40 points off FOMO zone. We're back up there, and now starting to move, and a lot of biotechs have recovered. So keep that in mind. Like, you know, you started off this morning a little different, and then, you know, most things were up, and then the biotechs are bad, but now biotechs are doing good, and now the SPY's leveling out. We have Euro close, and there you go. Let me get you guys a checkup. What time is it? Oh, 30 minutes. So Dow Jones, 24 in the green, 6 in the red. NASDAQ 100, 83 green, 18 in the red, and then SPY, 385 green, 117. So Dow and NASDAQ got a little better. SPY is generally saying NVO's taking off now. And Tesla stopped moving. The small Chinese companies, I mean, they're really gambling. I don't think that's going to be your best opportunity. I think you could still focus on Boeing and KWeb, but Bow's is one of those right now. I think I have Duo. What's the other one I have? I own Duo and another one. Duo and what is it? JYD, I think. Those are the ones I got free at the beginning of the year. U.S. Safety Agency asked Tesla to answer questions on plans to deploy paid robotaxi in Austin by June. Asked Tesla to answer questions. Tesla headline with government and robotaxi. Tesla kind of moving. VIX is on the low as we are kind of, this is the highest you've been in like 2 hours or so, an hour. So like I'm saying, if we can move up from here, it could be good. Free stocks, we do it with options, but if you ever get a good position and you buy it, and then the stock goes up like 100% or any percent, really, you sell as many shares or options to get your initial investment back, and then the rest is free. You smell pump. It's going to be good, but just don't. It's either an uncomfortable melt up or we go up a little bit. Then you get, after you pop up, you get batted down, and then we're still just chilling. Sniper AI. Welcome, baby. Glad to have you here. You threw in pony? That's not a good idea, brother. So again, the small cap stocks you don't know about and don't use in your life, those aren't long-term candidates. So like a Chinese AI company, you should have just bought Baba. But then again, that's too late now, but be careful. But these aren't the ones you throw in the long term, you guys. You want to buy the names that you really know about. And that's what I've been saying here is that if we look back 5-10 years from now, you don't want to look back and say, wow, I could have bought Pepsi, I could have bought NVO and all these UPS at 10, 15-year lows or whatever, and you ended up buying, overpriced hype names. That's not going to be good. So just be very cautious with that and, flip them, gamble on them, but once you put them in the long term, it is different and the quality should be a lot higher. But good luck with it. With IRM? Or I wouldn't buy IRM. Not right now, but we bought it in the beginning. We bought it when it was not quality. But even then, we didn't go crazy with it, and you let it sit. But it's not IRM. Most people knew about, believe it or not. So even though IRM, I never used them, but I did. I knew about the paper shredding. I never used them to store shit, but I knew the companies that did. Large risk on TMDX. It's possible to see. Yeah, there's going to be some you may not have full experience with, but the way I do it is like I never used Botox, right? I've never used Humira, but I knew a lot of people who did, and it was very, very popular. So assuming that you could kind of say the same, that could guide you as well. But just be careful. I mean, again, some of the lower quality ones, they look good, and then, yeah, I did. I ate Papa John's right after I bought it. I only ate Papa John's in college. So, yeah, and then I've known about it my whole entire life, and I do think it will be here in 10 years. So, yeah, let me ask, like, what do you know what industry even Pony is? But, yeah, just be very careful. I'm looking at this thing now. I didn't even know. It's auto. It's an auto industry. But, yeah, net income of 147 million loss. They have a lot of assets. Yeah, this isn't one. I mean, again, we got Baba. So be careful. I like Shopify a lot more. Price is a little higher. Some people got some good pickups when they were lower. But I like that way better than Pony. But again, the whole idea is something you know. I forgot they bought Allergen. Pizza. So that other China play, Bows is on the high. You did that, DND. I would eliminate, just don't buy stuff in the long term like that. So good luck moving forward, and you got to figure it out, but that's the other mistake people make. You know, if it's bad timing and paying too much, it's, again, you guys don't remember, I would go over people's long terms, and then they were like, oh, that was from this, and then the Fubos and the AMCs and the EV plays and the Chargers. That's what happened last time. Do you see what I'm saying? So this time around, you might get tempted to buy some of these hype plays, but they might not be good for the long term. Google is moving up. Remember, they got clapped the other day. Yeah, remember, it's right in the middle. Remember, they got clapped on the Apple search thing? But yeah, Google going up, that's going to help lift up the index. Quantum? No, I don't think so. Again, go make it. Don't overthink it. You don't need to find the next big thing. Usually you could invest in the next big thing after it's already massive. So, but Quantum is very, very far away. I like the idea, but I wouldn't buy any of those companies. For the long term, you guys could gamble on these. You could swing trade them and trade them to your heart's content, but just these aren't high quality names that I'm like, yeah, let me put in my portfolio for 10 years. That Bow's name's going up still again. Bow's. Yeah, we saw that on the second halt. Yeah, you could buy Microsoft, and we're just early on it. Why only YouTube? My Twitch won't let me log in, so I've been having technical difficulties. But once we get it fixed, we'll be back on. But for now, no Twitcheroony. Bank of England Taylor. The neutral rate is 2.73. I never answer on Twitch. Well, yeah, the Twitch is just a backup. I mean, when it's all said and done, you know, and a lot of people will be like, "Give me this on Twitch. Where's this?" But we only made it as a backup, so I try to look at it. It's hard to do multiple chats, but yeah, YouTube is where it's at. Though we'll still get the Twitch back on. It literally wouldn't let me log in today. Okay, you had Google. It's weird, man. You've been getting some wild, like, big cap pops, but then I guess Apple hasn't moved, or NVIDIA. But we're not, like, moving. But decent. Still holding 3%. The long term loves life. Everything is chill. We heard the Pharma thing from Trump. No other additional updates. And now we are chilling. Oh, shit. Yeah, we're back up now. I don't know what the hell went up, but long term is now, I thought we were, but we're about $500 on the big account from the highs. The Bibsy. Oh, Bibsy, look at the spikes going. Wow. Yeah, Google's really going. Good call out on that one. That one's still running up. If you guys got it. Yeah, well, big tech is the other part of this. I think if Apple and NVIDIA and now Google $1 off the bottom, that could really wake things up. I think Meta is already running. Yeah, Meta's up 7? Jeez. My goodness. May 12th. Arm pop as well. What was the other one? Core Weave. Yeah, Google's still going up. I'd say watch the individual names that are already leading. You'll probably get more moves on that, but then watch out for literally big caps. Google, Meta, Apple, Amazon. Those are really, really moving. Now NVO too, man. Yeah, bro. NVO is 67 now. It's up. These names are all clapped. Again, same thing with Eli Lilly. What would a bad CPI is just high inflation. It had to be high on core, the sticky part, but if it doesn't come in high, I mean, I don't even think unless any of this news gets worse, but if it stays good, unless you get a really hot core CPI, I don't think tomorrow does anything. Cars CEO 300,000 buy. Cars.com. And then Google near the high, Winds going up. I haven't seen any other China names move. And then SPY is slowly working its way up. Yeah, the Reuters Tesla thing, that was a little bit ago. Stock didn't really move. What was that? 937. Bank of England Taylor on tariffs. Don't know if we will get halfway back. I don't know what that means. But yeah, someone in Bank of England talking. True pet. Well, good luck, you guys. At least you got it at the low. Woo! Slow, low volume pop. It is. The volume's way better than the last couple days, though. So remember, we would be like at the last hour with 30 million. But it has slowed down a little bit. This could be worse. But yeah, we are at 37 million in volume. We're getting into the 580. And just, you guys remember, we're almost at the FOMO zone. So yeah, 58. We have 30 points, 33 points. This is a level I told you from last week. I think we'll either get resistance there, or if it really breaks out from there, then it gets really crazy. AstraZeneca is still up. Again, more of these biotech plays or the drug companies, they've all came up after the sell-off this morning. And then NVIDIA is great. The Pinduoduos, they were up way more in the morning. CoreWeave chilling. Other JDs started to move finally. Well, yeah, we either got to wait for something to break or now we're going to go more updates. I do think, just like last week, there's a lot that's going to happen towards the end of the week. We're just kind of waking up with really good news and the China stuff, but we have data tomorrow, and then around Thursday, Friday, the Saudi stuff, Jerome Powell. We're going to start running into the back half of the week and wherever all those events are front-loaded. All right. No tin. But I do need to go to the bathroom. My tinfoil is get a long term. I told you guys. I'm telling you. And I think the long term, in 10 years from now, I think a lot of people will be clueless towards it. The long term, I don't know. It's going to always work. But I do think the opportunity for a wealth transfer is very high. And I just think with the confusion, stagflation, inflation, deflation, I think a lot of people are going to neglect the strategies that work with the long term in investing, and it's going to be wild. So, but my tinfoil is that the long term is a dying breed that will always work, and those of you who really take advantage of it, I genuinely believe you will surpass your peers exponentially, as many will abandon this. So good luck. But yeah, that's my only tin. Other than that, I do need to go to the bathroom. So follow me on Instagram at The Trading Fraternity. Real Coat News on Twitter. Eli Lilly and NVO up. Again, Google too. And I will BRB.
Does make sense. However, I think we also move too far in the U.S. is over trade. I think that narrative that took hold around moving away from U.S. exceptionalism, if you want to use that word, I think that went a bit too far. I think what earnings season has taught us so far, and you know that's only the first quarter, but what we learned is that there is exceptional earnings to be found in the U.S. so far, especially in tech and AI.
All right, Gargi, thank you so much. Gargi Chaudhary with BlackRock. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Now, coming up on Bloomberg Markets, outside the trade headlines today, President Trump also vowing to cut drug prices in the U.S. and the details of the plan creating some volatility in pharma stocks. We've got that story next in our Stock of the Hour. This is Bloomberg.
Oh, man. I didn't get to go pee. I got a drink. Give it a second. Procter & Gamble going up. Again, Eli Lilly, NVO, PG, AstraZeneca. All the pharma plays are coming up. Remember, that was your only drag here today. So otherwise, everything would have been up a lot more. That's why NASDAQ climbing up. We're, 30 points from the FOMO zone. U.S.-UK trade deal is quite slender, says Bank of England Taylor. PG. Well. I have no idea why Google is up. It just started moving up. It's halfway between the sell-off point on Monday or last Friday, wherever. And then China, ADR, small caps running, bows. And then SPYs, the highest you have been since 10-11. And then we are approaching 10 o'clock. So we've already burned like half the day, guys. Can you believe it? It feels slow, but it's massive. And then we just had the really good news, and then that's it. But I hope you guys get it. This weekend was substantially better than expected. Are you all aware of that? Just remember, the last 2 weeks we debated these China rumors and talks, but I don't think anybody thought we would have a trade pause or some sort of majority lowering of tariffs. We all thought that it would be a negotiation, shake hands, and everything's still screwed. But yeah, so other than that, it's, we're just holding that info, but that was very big. And, the pharma stuff was bad too. And you're seeing how people think it's more of a country approach rather than like a company one. But yeah, I think you could kind of see it's just like, dude, that was unexpectedly very, very good. And not too many people were prepared for that, myself included. I still doubt it. I still think, that's why I'm saying I don't think we're out of the woods yet. Nothing has really changed, but that was a way better deal than anybody was ever forecasting this weekend. So, and that's where we're at now. And then throw in the pharma stuff. NVO, all right, 580 on this SPY, bro. Could be because it's not on paper, but even then, even with paper or not, it was still way better than expected. We shouldn't have had, nobody was really forecasting that. All right, now let me go, Pete. Follow me on Instagram, @TheTraderForDoing. Real Call News on Twitter. I don't know, wait. You're just playing the music.
All right, welcome back. Pharma stocks
welcome
in
back.
focus big time today. The president signing an executive order aiming to slash drug prices. Eamon Javers live at the White House with the very latest today. Eamon?
Hey there, Scott. President Trump put his executive order on drug prices in the context of his global trade war, arguing that European governments have been taking advantage of Americans for decades. The president said his goal is to get Europe to pay more, even as the U.S. pays less for the same drugs.
Basically, what we're doing is equalizing. There's a new word that I came up with, which I think is probably the best word. We're going to equalize, where we're all going to pay the same. We're going to pay what Europe's going to pay.
And the drug industry largely accepted that framing as Pharma CEO Stephen Ubel issued a statement saying, in part, to lower costs for Americans, we need to address the real reasons U.S. prices are higher, foreign countries not paying their fair share, and middlemen driving up prices for U.S. patients. So this is a change that previous presidents and Congresses have been unable to accomplish, largely due to the pharmaceutical industry's enormous lobbying power in Washington. The drug industry is far and away the biggest spender on lobbying, outpacing even such well-heeled industries as tech and finance, as you can see there, insurance, oil and gas as well. The executive order that the president signed sets up a negotiation period with industry, after which the president said the U.S. government will simply set the prices for the drugs that the U.S. buys based on the lower prices paid by other developed nations, but expect the drug industry's lawyers and lobbyists to deploy some of that firepower on the implementation phase of this, Scott. So this one is not done yet.
Okay. Eamon, thank you. Eamon Javers, North Lawn of the White House. Steph, I see some moves. Did you sell Lilly because of this?
No. I sold Lilly because I like Intuitive Surgical better. They had a better quarter. They raised their procedure volumes in the quarter. They de-risked the gross margins and OPEX is coming down. I just think that there's a huge total addressable market for where they are at. Lilly, I made a little bit of money. It's just expensive, but I still like it very much. I think if it were to pull back and get to a more reasonable valuation, I might buy it back. But this had had nothing to do with today's news.
It's up 3 1/3 today.
Yeah,
so
right.
Obviously the market's not concerned in any way, Joe, about this.
We own Lilly, we own Intuitive Surgical, both those names in the ETF.
Josh goes bathroom. You get a little lift.
Most affects the pharmacy.
What up, baby? And Google's still running. In Meta now. This is all big tech mixed in with the small. Honestly, I think a lot of biotechs. They're melting up now after being bad.
Recently, I had a personal position in CVS, which I sold. I think.
Listen to what they're talking. These plays will all move.
Say to yourself, okay, I want to try and avoid it. You've got some other pharmacy names like Merck is up 5% today. So
most of the pharma names are up, which is
everything's starting to pop now. So get ready for FOMO zone and breaking out from the open. We haven't done that yet, but you're 6 points from the high. And then, like I said, 58.48. That's the level. 20 points.
Our friends at Fast Money are holding a little get-together on June 5th at the NASDAQ. You can grab a front row seat and watch that show live.
Should we go? You guys want to pull up or no? But, yeah. We did it, Joe. Meta's on the high. A lot of big tech here. Front row seat. They said you could go. A live NASDAQ event by CNBC. We beat Big Pharma. That's why all of the stocks went up. They all went down and popped. I'm surprised, though. But they all, literally, every single pharma name just brushed all of this stuff off. So I still think we're going to get more details, but I do think the market is interpreting it as Trump wants to hit the countries. But surprisingly, they are holding up very well. Toilet break more off. It works. I'm telling you. I've noticed it lately. It's very strong. But yeah, you got your move. You got your move. Are they still talking these plays? I thought they were going to go to, yeah, they went to commercial. I sold out my bros for like 200% and I thought it was good. But no, that kept going. And then Nvidia is moving up. Him's on the low now. I sold out of those too early. I still got another set, but yeah. But Hims is starting to drop. Hex Flare. Welcome. Damn, bro, you've been dropping on him every day, bro. I appreciate you. Happy Monday indeed. Yeah, the long term has Happy Monday as well. The near the money ones moved for a little bit, but out the money's not really. But I think it just has to move a lot more. It is almost philo time. Yeah, we got 10 minutes. So if you are, I don't know if we're going to hear Trump or is there a press briefing? But yeah, you will need a membership. So this will be that time. You got about 10 minutes. The Israel hostages. No. I don't see anything else. How much, yo? I made a ton of money, lost it all. Thanks to the long term, I'm recovering years later, baby. The long term will get your back. Amen. I appreciate it, bro. Thank you. Let's go. We got a long journey to go. Still got some more time, God willing. So that long term, man, I can't wait to see where it goes from here. And then, too, I hope all of you are shopping for houses. There's still another step. And then we rinse and repeat and keep playing time. Woo! Apple and the video. All right, man. That was a nice move, but it's all chilling there. And I do think, again, big tech, you do have about 80% of the market leading up. ASML on the high. Tyler. Oh, welcome and legal. So let's go, baby. Dividend-wise, Coca-Cola or Pfizer. Coca-Cola is safer, but Pfizer pays higher and will have more upside on the stock. But then Pepsi might be the one you're looking for. Pepsi in the middle, 4% dividend, not as risky as Pfizer, cheaper than Coca-Cola. You got 6K in the long term. When should you start looking? Right away. So keep saving, but just look every day. Figure out what that'll get you. Do you have a job? Because you'll need a job for that amount. If you only got 6K in the long term, you could still get a house, but you're going to need a W-2 job to get you a higher qualification. My email is tradingfraternity@gmail.com. I don't check the emails till after the bell, though, so you'll have to wait if you're going to send me something. All right, slowly working up. High ticker has a lot more activity, 30 second, 1 minute. Not as many names. That candle's getting bigger. Hold on, you got SPY going up as well. At what point would you not need a job? When your account is near an amount where you could get a down payment on a house with 10% without having to do it. Otherwise, again, if you have a smaller amount of money and you have a job, you could qualify for an FHA and that you could get a home for 3% down. All right, moving up. That one candle was a little bit bigger. That jacked up some of the premiums, but we are still moving up. Capital One? That's interesting. Damn, that thing's up 7? Bruh. All right, the Nvidias are climbing still. They're actually hitting the price they were at last week, surprisingly. This is where I made them free. So, yeah, those are coming right back up. Apple, too. Apple's slowly climbing. But other than that, my friends, not bad. Does the you could be a drug dealer and put down 20 still apply? Yeah. So, again, if you have 20% down, you don't need a job. But then you could only get 20%. So like our small long-term, the YouTube account, $300 a month, $27,000 right now, right? 10% down means we could get a $270,000 house. If we do 20% down, we could only get like what, 140,000 or 130. And then if we do a FHA loan, that same 27,000 could get you, that could probably get you $500,000, $600,000, and then you'd still have cash left over. Yeah, gold is down but up. It's weird. It's down 3% today, but still at a very wild price. And SPY's still working its way up, you guys. Oh, we should have held the near the monies. HIMS is coming down. But again, SPY, where's what's it called? RTX. I made both of those free, but that was a nice one too. That one's just chilling. Net on the high. Your mom trying to buy, could she qualify for reverse? She's above 61 or 62. I do the reverse, but you might be able to co-sign with her and then get like a 5 or 10% down. But if she really doesn't, if she's not doing a reverse or any other co-signer, she probably will have to put 20% or 15%, and it'll be a higher interest rate. So I try to find a way, either additional borrower or reverse, to try to get the interest and down payment lower. You could email and I'll forward it to someone if I think they could help. Just tell me the zip code you're in. Well, if it's already on market, I mean, you should just be talking with the agent, but ideally the ones you want to reach out are not already listed. Recommend paying a loan broker to get a good loan? No. Most people you could just call around and shop the rate, or if you have a good lender, they'll shop it around and let you know what's the lowest in that. No, I was talking to someone else on the not on the market. They were asking about calling. But yeah, yours, you just got to figure out what she'll qualify for and what makes the most sense. Ho! Closed on my first house this morning. Stop it. Let's go, baby. Weren't we just playing 2K? That's crazy. Bro, that means that, like, I got Chads who play 2K with me. And do you realize they own homes? Y'all fucking around with me. You know that? Horn. More like S-dub for owner. Oh. That's what I said, bro. Last time I be playing 2K, I'm with Jamar. Jamar, he just sold the long-term to get another rental. And then now we got S-dub. Bro, what do you mean? How y'all letting us play 2K and get cribs and long-terms? They enjoying life. What? This is save money. Get a long term, baby. Little by little. Never lump sum. Just little by little. Especially if you come in contact with a lot of money. Always little by little. Is it okay to get a first time home buyer grant? Yeah, why not? If you qualify and they'll give it to you, fuck yeah. Whatever you can to get low interest, low down payment. If there's grants, closing costs, any sort of incentives, programs you qualify for, even better. So yeah, 100%. The only problem is when you do like certain loan programs or stuff, they limit the property. So they won't give you a loan for every type of property. It has to qualify. But other than that, if you can't qualify for those programs, then hell yeah. Long-term change for brokerage? No. So whether you're doing a Roth or not, but if you are putting stuff in your retirement, remember, you got to be extra cautious and make sure you want to hold and go with stuff that's quality. You know, that's why I said be careful of those kind of those small cap names we've been seeing. Not really. You could get like business loans and other ones that don't require it, but you'll still have to put down like 10%. I've been stacking since 2020. You'd be sad to see it go to a down payment. Why? Just, this is what I've said every time. We even talked about it when we went over people's long terms on Friday. You guys got to, I'm telling you, I'm going to do it. I have to find a good property. I would have already sold my long terms, you guys. Believe me, if I wasn't a YouTuber trying to show you guys the long term, I would have already sold it. So who gives a fuck how the chart looks? Because I'm telling you, it's money. And that's how you could level up and leverage for a really good advantage. So you were like, oh, I stacked my account since 2020. Bro, that $27,000, if we turn that into a house, I could turn $27,000 into $270,000 at 10% down. You see what I'm saying? So you may feel like you're starting over, but you actually just 10x'd your investments. Do you guys get that? So literally, if you turn a $20,000 long term that took you 5 years to build, and you're like, wow, that's all my money, but you turn it into a $200,000 house, you now have $200,000 in assets. You just went from handling, you would have been 5 years away from six figures. Now you're pushing six figures on your assets in a safer manner. So I would not, if you do focus on the account resetting, you might miss out on a big opportunity. But this is how you're going to safely and properly scale your way up into the higher amounts and make yourself more money. But as long as it's a good deal and a good property, that's the best time to zero out the long term, because you didn't zero out. You're making more probably, and probably pushing way more than you ever have. Where are we finding $200,000 houses at? Most of America. Stop being so rich. You know I'm the rich guy, right? You guys know, like, theoretically, like, in this setting, I'm supposed to be the rich guy, you know, and I'm supposed to be the out-of-touch, like, millionaire guy who doesn't know what stuff costs. But, yeah, most of America has $200,000 homes, if you guys aren't aware. But, yeah, even in California, you could find a $200,000 house or condo. Okay, you know, but, yeah, they're out there in vast quantities. I don't know. This time I disagree. Okay. That's fine if you disagree. But like I'm saying, there's a lot of homes out there for $250,000. I just bought one not too long ago. I buy them a lot, actually. But yeah, they're there, bro. They're there. I'm not going to argue with you about it, but I encourage you to look. I encourage you to look. UVXY on the low? They did it, Joe. What makes the most sense is the interest rate and then how much money you're putting down. Because then you could just compare it to, you know, whatever you don't invest, you're going to pay an interest, and then whatever you don't put down, you could either grow or get back. So either way, though. But if you could get a low interest rate, I wouldn't put down a lot of cash. But if the interest rate's high, it doesn't really matter. You're probably going to refinance in a couple years anyways. Could the announcement before Middle East be the drug policies? I think that's what it was. The whole big announcement was that he teased a couple things with Saudi. We don't know yet, but I'm guessing it's going to be about chips. All right, SPY working its way up. Hello. Microsoft now too, and Oracle. Oh shit. What about Oracle, guys? I didn't even think about it with the whole TikTok shit too. Netanyahu says he just spoke with Trump. Yeah, Oracle, now Intel, Nvidia, all the chip ones are going up. We are very close to the FOMO zone. So you know what sucks? I'd hate to add more FOMO zone, but again, about 2 weeks ago, beginning of last week, I told you guys 58, 40, 45, 48. That's the FOMO zone. Things change and people get really FOMO-y if we go above that. So look, we're right there. So get ready for that, but I hate to add more FOMO because right as we are about to hit the FOMO zone, I am going to go leave right now to Philo. So get you a membership if you care. If you don't want to hear Jesus and stock news, then you could definitely go to you could go to Bloomberg. They hate Jesus. So they would welcome you there, and they'll give you stocks after they make a lot of money on it and then confuse you to push their political bias. But, you know, if you want to be here, it's going to be $5 because of Jesus. It's not Jesus' fault. It's the people complaining. And then I realized I'm nowhere near Jesus. So I said, enough of this cap shit. I'm going to just charge them so we could have better workflow. So don't blame Jesus, blame me. But if you don't want to hear that stuff, then yeah, it is what it is. But at least you don't have to have stuff forced upon you, as they would say. But other than that, get you a membership. Thank you if you already have. Oh, I got to turn members on Philo. I almost forgot. All right, well. Oh, Scoot! Welcome. Yeah, Google introduced. I put it up there. I saw the headline. I forgot to read it. But yeah, that's the headline there. AI Futures Fund. I don't know what it means. But here it is. Oh, welcome, Jesse. So, yeah. No, the Twitch won't. I could try to get it up, but I'm scared because it crashed my computer twice. So, it like tweaks out while I'm trying to log in on the OBS. So, we'll see. But either way, I will see you guys on Philo if you want to be there. Otherwise, we'll come back around Power Hour. And Trump put out a Truth Social. The Republicans are meeting on tax, energy, and agriculture. The one big bill. Republicans need to unify. The bill is great. No alternative. We must win. So he's just pumping the spending bill. That's coming out now. SPY going crazy. And now get your membership because Chad is going to Philo mode. So I love you. God bless you all. And shout out the big candle on that and the long term. All right. I'll see you on Philo. Peace.